Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day. Kill Tony's the best fucking show in comedy.
It's great.
It is. You guys have the best show in comedy.
We broke.
Are we up?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, hold on a second.
I don't want to.
We're running. Yeah, we're running. Yeah. No, you have the best show in comedy. Kill Tony is the best live stand-up show that's ever existed. It's the best.
It's fun.
It's the best.
Yeah, and it has such a great, like we learn about new comics in it, and that's great for all of us, knowing who's good, who's bad,
Think about all the people that came from it. Hans, William, like all these fucking people from the past. Preacher Lawson.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guys came from Kill Tony?
Tons.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's such a great show, dude. You guys, it's awesome. And you guys have it so down now. Like with the band behind you and like everyone's in sync and it's so good. Tony is so fucking good at hosting too.
Yeah. It's insane. He's gotten so much better, like just in the last couple of years, he's like so professional now, like how he does it. Cause it used to be where I'd be like, okay, now we have to do ads, and stuff like that. I had to kind of like help him. Now he has it.
No, he's got it down, but like off the cuff, that kid is fucking insane. It's so good. It's such a great thing to have for comedy too, to have like this opportunity for young up and coming people or even old up and coming people. You could be old. You've had a few old people. Who's the oldest one you've ever had on your show?
Like a guest or
not a guest.
No,
like
I mean someone we found.
Yeah, someone doing 1 minute.
Oh, we've had old people. Like when we like on the road, we'll find these guys that did comedy in the '80s and they still do it in like Jersey somewhere, and
wow.
Yeah, we've had some old people. I can't really think of anyone off like their names or anything off the. We've been doing almost 10 years. It's insane how long we've been doing that every single Monday. Sometimes we're doing Monday and then Friday 2 shows, Saturday 2 shows. When we're on the road, it's just insane how many we've been doing. And the show runs itself now. Me and Tony could literally just me and him and an iPad go anywhere and like have a show. It's pretty ridiculous how it works,
And does the iPad hook up to the sound system in the club?
Yeah.
How do they do that for you?
So I have like a studio on the go type thing where I plug everything plugged into my shit. And so it records each mic on a different sound file, and then I have a splitter that runs to their house sound, so they can turn up and turn down like their own house sound. And for me, it just stays the same. So
so it's pretty plug and play.
It's very plug and play, and it's cool because when we're on the road, like a place like, hey man, this is just a hotel banquet room. I don't know how you're going to do this. And I'm like, I just need one XLR cable because all I need. I could just plug in like using an XLR cable and controlled like 9 different mics.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty fun.
Fucking technology, son.
So much easier nowadays.
It's so crazy. Well, also, do people make podcast kits? Does anybody make a kit?
They do, and I've seen them before. Like you go to a website and they'll sell you a podcast kit, and it's just mediocre equipment and stuff like that. But people ask me all the time, what you recommend. And Zoom, I think you've heard of Zoom before.
Yeah.
They make all the good shit. They have these things where you just plug them right in. It records different tracks. It even like records so well, like if you could scream in it, it won't distort. It's called float recording.
Dude, there's 3 million podcasts now.
Yeah.
When we started, how many do you think there was?
In the hundreds at least. Like hundreds. 200. Yeah.
I wonder how many there were.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
I wish someone knew. How many podcasts were available in 2009? Find that out.
Adam Curry had that the thing. He had an archive. That's how it started, right? So there had to be a list.
Well, he's number 1. Adam Curry is the podfather.
Right. And then there was
all respect to Adam Curry.
There was all those people like the tech guys like Leo Laporte. Remember that guy on all the tech TV and shit like that? Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
I think he still does it too.
Yeah. And Dvorak, who does it with Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that podcast, Curry's podcast, the first one was it 2004? Or something like that. It was like 5 years before us, I think somewhere along those lines. But like when we started in 2009, what was the number of podcasts? I bet there's a log of that. Let's guess.
I don't know.
Give me a real guess.
I would say
I can tell you how many there are currently.
Give me how many they have currently.
Well,
Oh my God, it's now 4 million.
Jesus.
Holy shit, dude. So it jumped up 1 million.
I wonder though, is this podcast or podcast show?
That's what. So in the last 3 days, there's been 100,000 episodes published, shows published. So I would imagine that means
Total
episodes.
podcasts in the index, 4,079,717. Holy fuck.
That's crazy. Yeah, I would say it was.
4 million is like, dude, it was just 3 million a couple of months ago, Jamie. Do you remember?
I mean, you make it easier.
Wasn't that long ago.
Make it easier to upload. More people,
But
barrier
that's
to entry.
wild, man. That's wild.
I think there was still, when we started, there was podcasts though. There was probably
sure.
a couple hundred.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Well, there was
At
Adam
least.
Carolla, right? Adam Curry.
Mark Maron, was he
He
doing
was
it?
before us. I think by like at least months, if not a year. I don't know. But he was before us. Who else? Who else had one?
Corolla.
Not a lot of other people, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, that's right.
Kevin Smith always had
Smog
Smodcast.
Castle.
Yeah.
We did that once.
Yeah, we did that at
Jim
that
Norton.
theater. That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. Yeah, he had him out before anybody. He was one of the early birds.
Yeah.
But how many like overall?
I wonder if you can go to like the Internet Archive and just look at podcast rankings, and maybe it would show it there.
Maybe I could look at that same site. I'm digging through some Adam Curry info to find that original archive he had. Like 2005 is what I'm reading right now. Is when that RSS feed thing they gave to Apple to build their database off of.
So that was his first, 2005. So he was number one. So it goes from Adam Curry, and there's probably a few other tech guys probably got involved around then and started doing some.
And now everything. Now
4
TV
million
shows,
people.
like just Kinko's locations, like have podcasts. I was watching.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching. When you see a movie and before the movie starts and before the previews, they have just like little trivia games, and they have like a host, and it's like just tons of commercials.
Right.
They go, and you could join us on our new podcast. And I was like, who is sitting there that enjoys that part of the movie enough where they're going to subscribe to a podcast about that? You probably don't know what I'm talking about. But
I don't, but
if you go to a movie early, before the movie trailers comes on, it's just like this generic stuff where it's just a ton of commercials and people giving you like movie trivia. Like, hi, it's kind of like Entertainment Tonight, but it's just it's just cheesy shit. But they have a podcast.
How many like restaurants and bars have their own podcasts?
Exactly.
That
yeah.
must be a thing now.
Oh,
right?
totally. Yeah.
But there's always probably funny people at bars, right? It's probably not a bad idea. And you've met people that never did stand up that were really hilarious, right?
Oh yeah, tons. Yeah, absolutely.
Like some guys where you're like, God, if I was like a tenth as funny as that guy.
Right. Yeah. The only reason that you can have it at a bar is probably for insurance reasons. Like, here's proof that they just got drunk before they killed a bunch of people after this podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, we all met people that were like really funny that just never did it.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo's doing stand-up now, and I always told him to do stand-up like way back in the day. I'm like, dude, you're funny. You have funny fucking stories, man.
I remember he tried it once and something happened, like he didn't have a good set, and then he stopped for a while.
He had a couple of rough sets.
Right.
But that was before he was teaching. When he started teaching, he got very comfortable like addressing people because he was doing a lot of seminars. So he would fly in and explain jiu-jitsu in seminars, and one of the things he would do was tell funny stories. So he'd tell funny stories while he is like teaching jiu-jitsu. And, he's like, dude, I'm killing in front of my class. And I started laughing, and then he started doing it again. He gave it another, but it was like a 9-year break where he wasn't doing it. Like at least, maybe 9's wrong, but many years. I forget how many. But he's funny, man. I saw him at the Comedy Store, and he was doing the tinfoil hat show with Sam Tripoli.
Right.
I'm like, dude, he's fucking funny.
Yeah,
He's got some funny ass stories.
He always had funny stories. I remember about like the cranberry juice. Like he would give a girl cranberry juice or something like that because she had a urinary tract. Anyways, like all those stories he would always tell us about the like dates he went on and stuff like that.
Oh, he had crazy stories.
Yeah.
They're very funny. But he's just figured out how to do stand-up now. It's interesting to watch, you know. I had this guy that I worked for that was a private investigator, and he was one of the funniest guys I've ever met. His name is Dave Dolan. I don't know if you ever met him. He died a few years back, though. You might have met him on one of the times we went back to Boston, because I always saw him whenever I was in town. But he was my employer when I was 21, when I was just starting to do stand-up. He needed a driver. So he put in the ad for a newspaper, wanted private investigator's assistant. And I was like, oh, that'd be a dope job to do while I'm doing stand-up. I'll be a private investigator's assistant. But it was really just, I had to drive him because he lost his license from drinking and driving.
Wow.
Dude, he was hilarious. He was one of the funniest people I ever met. Working with him, I would come home, and there was this girl I was dating, and we would have these conversations about it. I was like, he's so funny, it's like confusing. I'm like, why aren't you doing comedy? I'm like, I was crying, laughing all day with this guy.
Sometimes it probably doesn't transfer well, though, you know, because it's...
He would have.
You think?
100%. 100%. 100%. He could have 100% been a comedian. He didn't give a fuck, though. He didn't want to do it. He had his, and he had an in. His cousin was one of the owners of the Comedy Connection. It was Bill Downs. Bill Downs and Paul... Fuck. I forgot his last name. I can't. We got to edit the part out. Paul Barkley. I got it. I'll say it again. It was Bill Downs and Paul Barkley. They were the owners of the Comedy Connection. And my friend, Dave Dolan, was cousins with Bill Downs. So he had like an in. He could have gone to an open mic. He would have got up. He would have fucking killed.
I wonder why he didn't.
Didn't want to. He like genuinely didn't give a fuck. That's one of the reasons why he was so funny. Like the guy genuinely didn't give a fuck. He was just a really funny dude. He was just into having a good time. That's all he wanted to do. Have a good time.
I've seen on Kill Tony before people that have tried comedy for the first time, and they say, you know, all my friends told me that I'm not just a funny guy. And we had one on recently, and it was not funny, but because he told it like as if it was like a joke, like a street joke, you know. So these two guys, you know, and it was like if you could just say what you said but made it like more real,
right?
You know?
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. Yeah,
that's the hard part. This guy, Dave, my friend Dave, when he quit drinking, he stayed funny, and he just quit like that. When I started working for him, he's like, I gotta stop. He crashed his car under a bridge and then ran away from the car.
Oh God!
So he's under an underpass,
right?
And he was like that was the end of that one. He's like, I had to let it go, bro. But he just quit.
I think I could easily do that. Simple, I think, because I think the older I get, now drinking to me, the next day I'm like, well, this day's ruined. You know, like my body does not snap back like it used to. And I think if anything, it's kind of like, yeah, why am I drinking? Just because I'm at a show? Because I feel like when I'm at a show, before I go on stage or something, I have to have a drink or two. But at home, not really.
That's one of the great things about doing Sober October is that you realize you don't really need anything.
Right.
Like, you don't need to have a drink. Just go have fun.
Yeah.
Like, you can be completely sober and have a great time at a show. It's funny, but like alcohol and comedy, they go hand to hand. There's no other like performance thing that goes better with alcohol than comedy.
Yeah, because it loosens you up.
Yeah,
and
you're in a live setting, so it's exciting. It's all these other people laughing around you. You're getting a little tipsy.
Is there anything else that will loosen you up? Maybe we just start eating turkey before we go on stage.
That shit doesn't work. That's not real. That's not real. Do you remember that place in Toronto where the whole crowd was high?
Yeah, Puff Mama's place. The Underground.
Yeah.
Comedy Underground or whatever.
So you go on stage and there was no air in the room. You're just breathing weed smoke, breathing in and breathing out weed smoke. I can't tell you how high you get in that room. It's crazy. It's so ridiculous. They have bongs on people's tables.
They call it greening out. People like
Yeah.
Doug Benson greened out. He passed out on because of that. And Tony Hinchcliffe ran off stage and had to take off his shirt and sit outside on the curb in the middle of winter. Yeah.
That's the place where I did that video with the Iron Sheik.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Iron Sheik was in the crowd.
That's crazy that he was there.
Yeah, that was fun. If you wanted to choose though between alcohol and a weed crowd, I kind of go with
Alcohol crowd.
Alcohol crowd for the win, right?
Yeah, because the weed crowd would just be staring at you and getting lost, like they're like
Getting
thinking
super scared.
Yeah,
He's making jokes about me. Oh.
yeah. But the alcohol crowds suck too, especially bar alcohol crowds where people are just rowdy and.
Yeah, sometimes people get out of hand, but that's just part of being a person. You know, people get out of hand. Some people just not that good with alcohol. It's weird that that's a genetic thing for some folks. You know, people of different ancestral origins, different parts of the world. It's interesting how they handle alcohol differently. Like people from Russia can fucking handle some alcohol, right? Like notorious for it. There's like certain Irish can handle some fucking alcohol, right? But there's some ethnicities that have a difficult issue with it because they don't have like a long history of exposure to it in their past.
Yeah, it's also how much like. When did you start? Like Bert Kreischer. I mean, that dude should be dead. You
should
know?
be dead.
And he just has been drinking so long for so much every day. I think it's just like his body just. I need this to survive.
I wonder what's a good historical account of the effects of alcohol on Native American tribes. You know, I wonder if there must have been some documentation of that because I don't think it's wrong. I think it's one of those things that everybody kind of knows that when the settlers were making their way across the country and they introduced Native Americans to alcohol, they didn't have something like that before. And they did not handle it well. And I always wonder, like, if that's a genetic thing. That is, right? Is that what they think? Like your ancestors had a history of drinking alcohol, so you're more predisposed. You're more predisposed to be able to handle it, right?
Right, and then that would make sense why a lot of people from the Midwest can drink more, you know, because everyone has that Native American in them, right? 10%.
Bro, no, but I think it would be worse. No, the thing would be saying that if you had Native American, you don't have a history of alcohol.
Oh, you're saying the opposite of that.
The opposite of that.
Okay.
Like whatever Shane Gillis is.
Right.
There's no fucking way.
What is that?
His ancestors don't have a history of alcohol.
Does he have Florida in him or anything? Well, Milwaukee. Does he buy the Milwaukee?
Florida's almost its own country. Let's be real. If shit gets weird, Florida could be its own country. It'd be the wildest country. It'd just be all Leonard Skinner songs.
Little detailed genetic research has been done on this topic, but it has been shown that alcoholism tends to run in families with a possible involvement of differences in alcohol metabolism and the genotype of the alcohol metabolizing enzymes. I can't say those real fast, which may be more prevalent in Native Americans than other ethnic groups, which is why that has been discussed that way, according to this.
But they're not sure that a propensity for alcoholism is transmitted genetically.
It says here even that there's a couple myths about that aren't proven. There is if I scroll up on this article, it does show like there are a disproportionate number of deaths in alcoholism, but there could be other reasons for that.
Because it's always been a stereotype, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been a stereotype. You gotta always wonder where those come from when it comes to that.
I feel like I can handle my alcohol pretty well. At least I can drink it. You know, I can nonstop drink it all night and not get to the point where I'm sick or puking or anything like that.
Is that good?
No, it's not good. It's not good. But I think it's because I just drank. My parents always put chili in the beer growing up. You know, like
chili in the beer,
or beer in the chili. You know, like anytime.
They did?
Yeah, like as a kid, My dad would always go, "Hey, son, you want some beer in your chili?" And he'd take his old Milwaukee or whatever and just pour some in my.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was I think Ohio thing.
How
I don't know
old
if
were
Jim,
you?
At 10.
Oh my God, you were getting hammered at 10.
Chili. I just typed
Best
it in.
beer chili.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was literally the shitty. My dad drank shitty beer and just poured it right in my chili. And I always thought everybody did that.
Dude, some shitty beers are nice sometimes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hell yeah.
That's nice sometimes. Sometimes that's what you want. It's cold. It's a very specific taste. It's like, look, I get it if you're into like IPAs and those real weedy beers, and those are interesting. I'll admit they're interesting. But also, like a fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
Cold, you know.
Hell yeah. I wish we had one right now, just a shitty, cheap beer.
Maybe you're eating
Frosted
crabs.
glass.
If you're
Oh,
eating
yeah.
crabs or something like that, a nice cold Pabst Blue Ribbon,
Hell yeah.
that would hit the fucking spot.
I don't really drink beer anymore.
No,
Do you still drink beer? I stopped
I do
drinking.
occasionally, but you know, I'm trying to avoid as many things that are like that have wheat in them.
Gluten stuff.
I just don't think my body reacts to that stuff very well. It's a big slowdown in my system when I eat bread or when I eat pasta. And I still love it. I fucking love it all. I love pizza. I love it. But my body does not react well to it.
Have you got a gluten test before? Have you checked?
No, I'm just going by my own, just how it feels for me. I think everybody's fucking different, you know, and I think this one-size-fits-all approach to what you eat is crazy. For me, it seems like my body feels at its best when I eat mostly meat and fruit. So that's what I eat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fuck around. Because when I do fuck around, I always feel like shit.
I agree with that. Meat is mostly what I eat, but I eat burgers, you know. I'm addicted to burgers. But
you get them on the bun.
yeah.
That's the problem. It's more delicious on the bun. It's more delicious. And In-N-Out with the lettuce wrap is pretty fucking good.
That is good. You have to get the double though.
It's not as good as with the bun.
Right.
The bun makes it better. The whole thing makes it better. There's like, I'm eating bread, yeah. Nom, nom, nom. Bread used to just be food. When the fuck did bread become bad for you?
It's evil shit.
You know, there's the conspiracy theory that it's glyphosate that's fucking people up. That it's not. See what that is all about? Because I've heard people talk about that.
What is it? Like
I think Robert Kennedy Jr. was talking about that. He was talking about glyphosate. Glyphosate is Roundup. Roundup is that stuff that they spray.
wow.
Yeah.
No, that
The
can't be
stuff's
true.
super bad for you, right?
There's no way there's Roundup in.
But hold on. If they use it on these plants, where does it go? Do they wash it off? Like, what kind of residual effect does that stuff have
Sure.
on the food you eat?
Or plastics.
Could you imagine if that was what was going on? And that's why, like, European people don't look like us?
Oh, yeah.
More than half the products oh shit.
Wow.
More than half the products tested had detectable levels of glyphosate above 10 parts per billion. 45 out of 86 products contained detectable levels of glyphosate. Ranges were from 12 parts per billion to 1,150 parts per billion. Organic foods are much less likely to have trace amounts of glyphosate. However, it is appearing in low levels in some cases.
It's crazy.
Damn, they got you perfect. That was nice. The pop-up was the timed pop-ups.
Fucking.
Yeah. So there's glyphosate in foods. It gets trace amounts of glyphosate.
That's insane.
Glyphosate in popular bread, oats, legumes, protein powders, and bars 2022. Holy shit.
That's everything you have. Or you have the protein powers.
Dude, all that stuff.
Yeah.
How wild is that? Because it's like, it's a really common chemical that's used, and it's really bad for you. And if that's it, I don't know. I mean, is there a kind of organic wheat that you know is 100% glyphosate free? And if you ate that, would you feel different?
I bet there is. I bet.
Or are these trace amounts of glyphosate that aren't really affecting you? Like, I wish I knew. I mean, like, it sounds scary when they're talking about parts per billion, but I wish, like, a scientist would go, not a lot.
Right. It's like those microplastics. When I start reading about microplastics and stuff like that, I start freaking out. And
Do you know how much we eat every week?
yeah, it's nuts.
It's a credit card.
Yeah.
We eat a credit card.
Craziness.
I wish I could remember where I read someone said that like, it's not a misinterpretation, but that's like the highest end it could be as a credit card. I think when they'd
So
read
like
into
somebody
it,
who eats microwave.
and they even like the way they got that number was like studying clams or something like that, and then did a math problem. I can't think of the word right now to figure out what it would be like in humans if it was the same size.
Oh.
That's how they got.
So
that
there's
number.
a little fuckery
There's
involved.
a little.
Oh,
But
it's
I don't know. Like, but
wee-
there is some. So like
a
I
wee
wanna say
bit of
it's not
fuckery.
untrue, but it seemed like there was a little bit of like a
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well, credit card seems like a lot.
like a whole lot.
And how much stays in your body and how much do you shit out?
Right. I bet you'd shit a lot of it out.
Like 99.9% probably.
But what if you don't?
Yeah.
You know? Plastics and stuff in your body. Like, ugh.
See, here's like the article, but like for weirdly, it starts off saying globally we are ingesting an average of 5 grams. So it's an average too. And the weird is globally.
Right. Globally, like maybe some parts of the world are higher.
Yeah, like us.
I think we'd be pretty high.
Yeah.
If you're getting it from like microwaving food with plastic on it, we got to be high as fuck.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for a long time.
And plastic forks and there's little plastic
Yeah.
containers your food comes in, the
Yeah.
to-go boxes.
There's always like little pieces of plastic somewhere. I guarantee you.
Even this article says it's just Australians. It says Australians ingest a credit card, not everyone. So I don't know, you know.
But is that an article from Australia?
Well, an Australian analysis says that. So
Interesting.
Can you really trust those Australian analysis?
Can't anymore. Yeah, I'm worried though. Well, I'm worried also because I had that Dr. Shanna Swan lady on the podcast who talked about what plastics and these chemicals like phthalates are doing to the reproductive systems of people. Did you ever hear about that? Do
Yeah,
you know this lady?
I think I heard about it from.
She's got this book called Countdown, and it's all about what plastics are doing to people's reproductive systems.
Right. Yeah, my girlfriend is obsessed with that, all that shit, and she thinks we're dying from it.
Well, we're changing. We're changing. This is the problem is it's dropped men's sperm counts 50% lower than they were in like the 1950s. Women have more miscarriages, and men's taints are shrinking.
That's a good thing.
No.
I want my asshole right next to my dick. Masturbate, you just put your finger in there the whole pick it up like a bowling ball.
That's bad because the closer the taints are, it's the more feminizing of the male. This is what it is like in mammals, and I'll probably fuck this up. My apologies in advance. In mammals, male taints are between 50 and 100% larger than the females. So that's one of the best ways that they detect whether or not a mammal, like a puppy, is a boy or a girl. The taint is bigger. But in men, over the last X amount of years, they've been shrinking. And they've been shrinking steadily, which is an indication. Penis sizes are shrinking, testicles are shrinking, sperm counts dropping like 50% lower. And at the same time, this is the introduction of petrochemical products like plastics and stuff like that. And eating out of plastic bottles, and drinking out of plastic bottles, eating out of plastic plates. Like that. All this stuff has entered into the bloodstreams, and they've found in studies in mammals that when they introduce these phthalates to mammals, their offspring are affected. The reproductive systems are affected. It's wild shit, dude. Because it's like we're doing something weird to the human organism, and we're doing it through plastics, and we're just now finding out about it. Like, we're only finding out about this over the last... I think we talked about this. I always forget. I want to say it's like 2015, right? It was not that long ago that they discovered this.
Nuts.
So she wrote this whole book about it, and she's a really funny lady too. She's got like a thing on her Instagram called the Jizz Quiz, and it's all about, like a quiz on like how much men's sperm counts have dropped over the last 50 years, and it's like, whew.
So weird.
It's wild because it's just it's unavoidable. Like, we're just accustomed to consuming a certain amount of plastics and having plastic chemicals in our body.
How's the connection of that, though? Could it be something else, like,
They're really sure that phthalates do that.
Oh.
And phthalates are some of the chemicals that you get from, like, plastics. And I think some pesticides affect the body in a similar way. There's like a lot of shit that we encounter that fucks with reproductive systems. And so when they did it with animal studies, when they did it, it showed that the males all came out like more feminine and with smaller taints and the whole deal. And it's all about how many, what kind of chemicals the mother has in her body when she conceives. It's wild stuff, man, because it's like the implications are if we don't stop using them, that we're going to change the species over plastic. Like, well, it'll change what it means to be a male human. Because it won't be like a male human used to be before plastics. It's crazy. If that really, imagine if it's like unavoidable. You can't get it out of humans. And it's just going to keep feminizing males and turning their taints into smaller and smaller little patches of land.
Well, then finally, it doesn't matter, we could have guys and girls play the same sports together. Right?
One day. Maybe that's where we're headed.
Yeah, maybe it's already started.
Well, maybe that's what this obsession with gender thing is about. Maybe this is all like a natural process that turns us into that look, that alien look, with genderless, big giant heads and spindly bodies, and you could read minds. I bet that's exactly what's happening. I know that sounds stupid. I really do. I know it sounds stupid. But maybe that's what's happening. Can you imagine if that's really what the fucking deal is? That it's just, this is how the animal evolves. Like, the only way we're going to get past, like, all the horrible things we do, like war and murder and rape and torture and thievery and deception, all the things that humans do that's awful. It's all tied to these monkey instincts we have. It's all tied to being an ancient primate species that has evolved to this point. The things that are holding us back are all these biological needs. The need for food, the greed, and fucking envy, and rage, and all those are all emotions. If we could just get rid of those, that would be nice. No, you see super genius people that are not very emotional. What if that is like a move towards a new kind of human being? What if all this stuff is a move towards a new type and then while this is all happening, they inject technology into your body? There's a Neuralink or something along those lines. And you can fucking move things with your mind now. You don't even need arms. It's probably where we're going. It's probably not that far away either, like 100 years, 200 years.
I'm more concerned about that artificial intelligence, that Google guy that quit or got fired. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Oh, you already talked about it.
Yes.
Probably.
No, yeah. I talked about it with a guy who understands these things yesterday, Mark Andreessen. And it's really interesting because I'm too dumb to really know. I'm not very informed about like how these things work, what these programs work. But what he was saying that made a lot of sense, he goes, this thing is using Google, and it's literally using like all of the interactions with human beings, and it knows responses to like a fucking insane number of questions. So it can use this program to communicate with you. And if you ask it to convince you that it's alive, it can figure out how to get the words together. But if you asked it to convince you that it's not alive, it would also figure out a way to form that.
But that alone is like what a human can do. It could either, act or...
That's the problem. The problem is I think we're waiting for like an energy that propels it, like a soul, right? Because if it already has all of... What are like most people's lives? You're interacting with people, you're learning from these interactions, you read about things that inspire you to be better. Maybe you watch a documentary about someone that's really, really cool and inspires you to be better. And you're learning about what it means to be a person. Well, if they can just do that and just download it off the internet instantaneously and become infinitely smarter than you'll ever be, the only thing that's missing is like a soul, like a thing that makes them act.
That's why they're going to find out mixing technology with that and like a frog or something that has a soul, something that's stupid. Like, well, that frog probably has a soul, but we can use that soul, upgrade the soul, put it into a robot.
Oh my God! Imagine if they start extracting souls.
Yeah, from frogs.
Look at this. Google engineer Blake. How do you say that?
Lemoyne.
Lemoyne is a priest and Christian mystic. Well, now I believe him more. All of his claims about sentience, personhood, and rights, Blake Lemoyne wrote on Twitter on Saturday, are rooted in religious convictions as a priest. His arguments, therefore, pre-theoretic, he says, are for in a previous Medium post about the question of religious discrimination at Google, Lemoyne describes himself as a Christian mystic. He also notes his sincerely held religious beliefs in God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. That sounds like a guy who's done mushrooms, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like. Probably has. Probably microdoses. Why does that work?
Definitely.
He's a Christian mysticism as a sense of some form of contact with the divine or transcendent. A union with God is not so much a doctrine as a method of thought. Okay. Why is that so weird? I mean, that's just as weird as all of the religion. That's just as weird as being a Mormon. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy, But if he's right, he's working with... What does it say? Jamie keeps coming with the facts. He became ordained as a Christian mystic, a Christian priest, and served in the U.S. Army before studying the occult, and is an outlier at Google for being religious from the South and standing up for psychology as a respectable science. What does that mean?
That was according to the Washington Post write-up about him.
But what does that mean? What does that mean for standing up for psychology as a respectable science? What does that have to do with anything?
I think it's saying he's labeled an outlier at Google for that reason, which is in quotes, and that might be what he said. It's not saying who said that quote.
But isn't it a weird quote? Like, because they're saying he's an outlier, but then listen to the quote. For being religious from the South and standing up for psychology as a respectable science.
Yeah, what's that even mean?
What does that mean? What does that have to do with him coming out about AI? Does that have anything to do with it?
They're attacking his beliefs.
Well, it's a weird... Well, I guess they're saying that someone... So that's his quotes. That's what they're saying. That he was saying that he was standing up for psychology as a respectable science. But what the fuck does that have to do with AI? Am I missing something? It was in his capacity as a priest, therefore not a scientist, that he concluded that LAMDA was a sentient being. He said, I know a person when I talk to it. Oh, Lemoyne told the Post. It doesn't matter whether they have a brain made of meat in their head or if they have a billion lines of code. I talk to them and I hear what they have to say. And that is how I decide what is and isn't a person. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, he's just a religious nut that thinks it's alive. He got tricked.
Yeah, but what does it mean to be alive, right? We have so much value we place on something being alive.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, it's fucking interesting.
It's the soul thing, though. Like
yeah.
It has...
The soul thing is wild.
And if you think about it, I think any living creature, bugs, mice, rats, frogs, all have souls. So
do they think that though? Like when people are really nutty with the soul thing, do they think crickets have souls?
I think so. I think any living thing has a soul, even trees.
Do you kill crickets?
I don't try to, but I don't give a shit if I do.
I always try not to kill them.
Crickets?
This is the only bug that's in my house that doesn't get whooped. Right? If you catch a roach in your house, he's dead.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Or spider, most likely dead.
Flies.
I've been bitten by spiders.
Fuck flies.
Fuck off flies.
I hate all flies.
Flies can eat shit,
Yeah,
right?
ants.
They all die.
Yeah,
ants die. Everybody dies. But crickets, you got to catch them and throw them outside.
Why?
I don't know, man.
That is kind of weird.
Why?
I don't know, man. Don't you feel like that, though?
I don't know why.
I have no animosity towards crickets.
Locusts?
I feel bad for them. I want to get them outside.
That's how I feel about those little June bugs or whatever. I feel like they're special need bugs because they're always like flying around and like falling on the ground.
What about
and,
the little clear ones that are creepy as
Oh.
all hell?
I think there's bugs that choose to be invaders, and then there's bugs that like accidentally get in your house. And a cricket kind of accidentally gets in your house.
grasshoppers too?
Yeah, they accidentally get in your house. I let them go too. But the ones that like are trying to like live in your house can eat shit. Fuck
But like
off.
crickets are like food for lizards and chameleon. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't. That's how their life is.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, I don't want them to go everywhere. The thing about like grasshoppers, this is one of the things I found out when I was reading about locusts. Do you know grasshoppers and locusts are like kind of the same thing? And that a locust is like a transition, like the grasshopper will become a locust when it's like a thing. I think it's a population thing with a temperature thing.
I think it's like when you let a hog out, becomes feral.
Is that what it is?
It's probably not exactly the same thing, no, but it's kind of like it.
See, what it says is like
SAT
what
question.
makes a grasshopper become a locust, because there's a thing that happens and they kind of transform. I hope I'm not fucking this up, but I'm pretty sure that like those old Little House on the Prairie days when they have like locust storms, I think those are just grasshoppers.
Really?
Yeah. I just think something happens to them.
Locusts are grasshoppers
Aha.
that develop gregarious characteristics.
Gregarious. What does that mean?
I can define that word real quick.
Gregarious sounds like polite conversation. What does that word mean?
He's gregarious.
Right? Doesn't it sound like? Oh,
Yeah.
he's gregarious in
I wanna
conversation.
say, like, sociable,
Yeah, fond of company, sociable.
living in
Yeah.
flocks.
So it's just a
So that's what it sounds like.
grasshopper that talks a lot.
So they're real social. Locusts are grasshoppers that are developing social characteristics.
They morph into locusts, yeah.
Okay. So often they thrive in environmental conditions that allow them to form into organized groups. And these conditions include thick vegetation growth after droughts. In such conditions, locusts reproduce at a fast rate and move into large swarms while making stops at any patch of greenery they'll come across. Since they cover long distances in a short time, locusts often cause extensive damage to crops. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and grasshoppers rarely group up like that or swarm.
So when they group up like that, that's when they get crazy.
Change color.
Wow. They change color.
A solid.
It says these insects typically come in a dark yellow, brown, or green, but their color pattern can change when they enter the migratory or swarming phase. Adult locusts are distinguished from females by the shape of the abdomens. In male locusts, the tip of the abdomen is rounded because of the subgenital plate that conceals the reproductive organs. In females, the tip of the what color do they become? They just
dark yellow. Wow.
It says but they change when they enter into the swarming phase.
This is a solitary female, which I'd imagine would be a grasshopper, could lay 180 eggs, while the gregarious one only does 80.
Huh.
And it happens from their serotonin.
Whoa. Just like grasshoppers, locusts are herbivores. Therefore, they cause severe crop damage when they invade a field of crop. Locusts tend to move in large groups to fly over long distances during their gregarious phase. Insect physiologists established that serotonin, a brain chemical, transforms solitary locusts into swarming insects. So it's like they get happy, they get a little happy drug, and they go into a swarming phase. It makes you wonder what we're doing, giving people all these kind of wacky brain chemicals, experimenting with like what makes you feel better. What makes you feel better, Brian? Does this make you feel better, Brian? Try this one. That one makes you feel sad. Try this one. That one makes me feel great. Everything is great. It's great. Oh, we got it. I think we got the one. I think we got the right mixture for you.
Fuck that.
Non-spoiler alert. Watch Spiderhead if that sounds interesting to you.
Spider.
What is Spiderhead?
New movie on Netflix.
Yeah? Who's in it?
Thor and Miles
Oh.
Teller from Top Gun.
He's always going to be Thor.
Thor
Forever.
Oh god, have you seen the preview for the new Thor movie?
No.
It's like him and a woman. It's like Lady Thor.
Why you mad at Lady Thor?
It just seemed really cheesy. But you know what was amazing? This is what I wanted to tell you. I got to see Avatar 2 trailer in 3D, and it's coming out in December. But have you seen the trailer for Avatar yet?
I don't think I have.
It
No.
looks so awesome.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's watch the trailer for Avatar.
Yeah.
I've been excited about this.
For years.
Avatar 1 was an amazing movie, it was so visually stunning.
Yeah.
There was so much going on with it.
The 3D was insane on it, and I got to see it in XD. Have you done one of those theaters where the whole chair moves and flies around and
What
stuff?
if you're holding a drink?
Yeah, you just gotta deal with
put your
that.
drink down.
It's kind of scary though. Like there's jump scares. You're like, oh my god, because it feels like somebody just pounded on your
wow.
back. It's almost too much.
No, I've never been to one of those.
Highly recommend. Wow, it's different when you don't sit in 3D though, huh?
Still looks dope. You ever do that ride at Disneyland or Disney World, rather?
No, I haven't been back to Disney.
Dude, Disney World has 2 Avatar rides. One of them is called Flights of Passage.
Yeah.
And it's a HD thing that you put on these goggles and you sit on a motorcycle-looking thing. And it's one of these dragons. It looks like a motorcycle. And then the goggles pop on and then and it brings you into this virtual reality world where you're flying on a fucking dragon in the Avatar world. It's amazing. I mean, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's been a long time. This movie's been in the works, for like 10 years?
Dude, this movie was so good it made gigantic blue ladies with huge cat eyes hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched a few of those fake porn too with the Avatar girl.
Oh, they must have those.
Oh, yeah, they do.
It.
I've seen it.
I knew it. This looks wild.
This family.
This came out like when the podcast started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas of 2009.
Yeah, this is... So I think they filmed a bunch of them back to back, right?
Yeah, I think there's 2 at least.
Our fortress.
God damn, this looks good.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting? I was like, every now and then, like with that movie, someone can create something that it like as a movie is so visually stunning and so unique that like you could have 100 movies branch off of Avatar, just like Star Wars. It's like, how many Star Wars movies have there been? It's a fucking shitload now, right? You could 100% do that because Avatar is like such an iconic like feeling you get when you're watching that movie. If you try to watch it again, you're like, wow, this movie is fucking great. When they're in the jungle and he almost gets jacked by that giant rhino looking thing, there's so many moments in that movie. And yeah, it's like the Pocahontas story. It is the It's basically, right? Isn't it like there's a few of those movies that have the same kind of theme.
Right.
It was Pocahontas, there was another one. It was like, what did they compare it to?
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully.
Yeah. But they did compare it to Pocahontas, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's yeah, I mean it's a classic movie. It's fucking Dances with Wolves. He becomes a Native American, remember?
Mm-hmm. That's a great movie too.
That's a fucking great movie. Come on, son. You ever watch Yellowstone?
No. What's that?
That's the Kevin Costner TV show.
Oh,
where he's got a ranch in Montana.
Yellowstone.
It's fucking great.
Really?
It's great. I'm on season 3.
Oh, it's out right now.
Yeah.
Kevin
Schultz,
Costner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Schultz gave it the recommendation. I was like, okay. All right. I trust you. Solid. Good show.
Did you ever watch the new Dexter?
I did not.
Oh, you should. Watch
Is it good?
Yeah. You
Yeah?
wouldn't think it would be, but it is.
Did he get jacked again? Because he got a little skinny for a while.
He looks normalish. It's very different. I don't want to give anything away, but it actually worked, I thought.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Probably not a good show for today. Give people ideas.
Yeah, right.
You know, we having this conversation yesterday about like what contributes to a person doing bad things. Like what contributes to mass shootings? What contributes to gun violence? What contributes to all other than criminals and guns? Like what contributes? Does video games play a part?
I don't want to say yes, but
Okay. Do
let's just wink at each
violent movies play a part?
Anything that glamorifies shooting, glamorifies anything that glamorifies I mean, I think kids at least, I hate to say it, but games. I mean, come on, all the games are about shooting and having guns and how fun they are.
Yep.
I don't want to even say that though.
Right. Because it wouldn't. Here's the thing. Like, it wouldn't make you shoot somebody. Mm-hmm. That's why we can both say that.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't make me shoot somebody just because I saw a video game or played a video game about shooting people.
Right.
But how much of an effect does it have over people that are like maybe not that well educated? Maybe
bad parenting.
I think it's a bad neighborhood, bad everything, and then they see that on TV all the time. Mm-hmm. You see it in the movies all the time. It's interesting, like how Hollywood is like so vocal against gun violence, right? Like there's so many people now that are like, we need gun control, but they're making these movies where they shoot the fuck out of people. It's so weird. That's so weird, because if ever somebody wanted to go, hey, you guys make all these movies making this look cool, what is the real problem? Is the real problem people who have guns who don't do anything and are law-abiding citizens, or is the real problem people who make movies where it looks awesome to shoot people? And I'm not saying they're the problem. I don't think they are. But like that whole problem is a weird problem. The problem of people wanting to randomly shoot people that's not good. That's not a sign of a healthy society. There's a lot going on there. We've had a lot of guns for a long time. This stuff has been ramping up fairly recently in human history. If this is a psychological problem.
What about duels back in the day when someone would cross you and be like, I'm going to shoot you for talking bad about my family or whatever? Like, that's not good either. Like, come on, talk that shit out. Talk about
cowboys and Indians. That started racial shootings, right? Like
probably. I don't think they knew very much about, like what kind of an effect that would have back then.
I know. I was trying to think about the game. At what level, if someone wanted to make the argument for games being attributable, at what level was it? Because they haven't always been as good as they are now. And
I don't think the argument is that it's all games. I think that the argument is that games play a part. I think the real, like, instead of like trying to pin the blame on movies or trying to there's a lot of factors, right? There's psychology. There's people that grow up that are abused and the way they're tortured when they're young, like they have no empathy by the time they're a 20, 21-year-old person. And people get raised by monsters all over the world. I mean, it just happens. It's got a terrible effect on people. Then you have people that are on all kinds of drugs, all kinds of medications, all kinds of things that could fuck with your mind. And you have people that are just psychopaths. You have that too. You have people with broken brains that want to do things, horrible things. We have a sick society. The society's sick.
I think it's like your old bit, dude. Like, I think people need to, not everyone can have kids. You have to, like, earn, yeah.
Because the bit was about that it shouldn't be that easy to make people.
Yeah.
We need to separate having sex from making a person. Because having sex should just be fun. Let's just make it fun. And then to make a person, it should be like one of the action movies where the president and the general have to turn the key at the exact same time to activate the nukes. Mm-hmm. Like you should be fucking really sure you want to raise a kid.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's with everything. I think it is mostly that family and how these kids are being up. They're being stuck in front of a Nintendo or an Xbox.
Yeah,
he has a babysitter and playing Call of Duty all day.
And there's also some people are just born fucked.
Yeah,
they're just born fucked up. That they're there's people that are good people and they have a kid and that kid's fucked. It's the fucking roll of the dice. Sometimes it's a lot of things. What makes a person be able to do like a mass shooting? It's like we have to figure out what's wrong with people. Taking the weapons away. If no one had guns, for sure there'd be no shootings. But that's not realistic. How are you going to do that? We got to look at this for what it actually is. We got to look at it pragmatic. instead of wondering how we got here, we got to figure out how to keep everybody safe.
Homeschooling for everybody. Zoom classes for everybody.
But dude, homeschooling might work if you're really super on the ball and you expose your kid to a lot of other kids and a lot of people. There's a socializing aspect that I would be skeptical about when it comes to like homeschooling.
VR.
I'm not opposed to homeschooling. You know, I know people that have homeschooled their kids and their kids are great. There's like a big prejudice that people have that people who homeschool are religious, you know.
I think if I had kids, I would homeschool them. And if it wasn't a private school, if I could afford a private school, probably that, but homeschooling probably. At least their first, I don't know, 6 grades.
Kids need to socialize, man.
Yeah.
They really, really do. They need to socialize. It's very important. They got to get out with other kids and talk, and that's how we make better people. You know, I'm not saying that you won't make great people homeschooling your kid, but I'm saying there's a great benefit to kids being around kids and sorting things out for themselves when the parents aren't around. There's a great benefit to that. Learning things socially.
Yeah, but then maybe that's where you throw the Girl Scouts in or the Boy Scouts, if they even have those anymore.
I think the Boy Scouts have to let ladies in now, too.
Oh, that's great for the Boy Scouts.
Well,
I would have loved that if I had
How did
Girl
that
Scouts.
get passed?
I think it's because no one was joining the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked.
They just
They didn't
combined
have
it.
anywhere for them to go.
Yeah, well, how many people are worried about leaving their daughters with fucking some creepy people?
Man.
You hear stories, and it's very rare, but you do hear these stories. That's what scares people about, like Google Scoutmaster arrested molestation.
Oh, yeah.
Google those words,
And
right? But Google those words, right? I'm not exaggerating. You'll find a lot of cases.
Boy Scouts were always connected in Ohio to churches. Like my Boy Scouts were through my church, you know.
But let me tell you something. I had a great time at the Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Boy Scouts. I went camping in New Hampshire with a bunch of hoodlums. Long Island Scoutmaster arrested for sexually abusing boy. North Texas Scoutmaster arrested for indecency. Yeah. There's a lot. Former Austin Scoutmaster charged of promoting child porn. Former Scoutmaster arrested on child indecency. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Scoutmaster arrested on child porn charges. Assistant Scoutmaster charged of sexually abusing 12-year-old. Oh fuck, man!
Mm-hmm.
Don't Google that. Just trust me. I did not get molested while I was but I did almost get dragged out of my tent, or out of our cots rather, in the middle of the night. These fucking kids were hoodlums. They were tying kids up and leaving them in the woods. They put toothpaste on everybody's clothes. I went to when I was in the Boy Scouts. We were living in Jamaica Plain. Jamaica Plain is, want coffee? Jamaica Plain's been gentrified now. Supposedly, I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass, but from what I've heard. But where I used to live was not back in the day. It was a rough neighborhood. It was interesting because I didn't really have any exposure to bad kids before. That was like my first exposure at like 13 to like bad kids that were criminals.
Right.
They'd all had sex.
Wow. 13?
13. One of this kid, I'll never forget this kid, Paulie Hudson. He lived next door to me, and he goes, you probably don't even know how a dick goes in a pussy. And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, you probably think it goes in, but it goes up. And I remember he blew my mind. I was like, it goes up? I'm like, he already knows. I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, of course it has to go up. Where else could it go? That's where it poke right out of your butthole.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't make any sense. But it was hilarious. I was like, these kids are criminals. They were always like lighting things on fire, and we accidentally lit a field on fire once, lighting off firecrackers. Yeah, the whole field. We tried to put it out, and then the wind blew. I'm like, oh shit! And we ran to the street, but right when we ran there, a cop car was there. Just totally confessed to the cop. The cop goes, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he called the fire department, and they put the fire out. Luckily, quick.
Jeez.
Yeah, but we used to like. There was all these like abandoned buildings and shit. We would go into them, smash windows.
Mm-hmm.
It was really wild. Like to be 13 and hanging out with these kids that were like, they were kind of dangerous. You know, like a lot of them wound up going to jail. A lot of them had already been like charged with stuff. Some of them had done time in juvie. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. I didn't hang out with the bad kids. I was a nerd.
Well, I didn't hang out with the bad kids, but that time, when we moved to Newton, which was a much nicer neighborhood. We were in Newton Upper Falls. It was like, you had normal like kid beefs and a few street fights and stuff like that. But it was a pretty nice place to grow up. It wasn't bad at all. It was fun. But Jamaica Plain was fucking sketchy. When I was in, I guess I was in 8th grade. I went there, it was 8th grade. So I guess that's when I was 13. There was a guy in my class who was 17 years old. And he kept going back to 8th grade. He wanted to eventually graduate, but he just had been sent back so many times.
Oh my God.
That he would be entering high school, He'd be like 18 years old entering high school. Like, can you even do that?
I mean, I got held back, and I was 18 the second half of my last year.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's
Yeah.
okay. But like, what year would they say, hey, you can't go to high school anymore? Like, if you get,
I think 18.
What if you start off a loser, right?
Right.
And you're just like sucking your thumb every day in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd. They keep holding you back. Like, Brian, you got to do 2nd grade again. Fuck you. I'm not doing shit. And they keep failing you. You can't have all Fs and get to 3rd grade. So they keep holding you back. And next thing you know, you're 17, but you have a religious experience. God comes to you in a dream and tells you, hey, man, get your fucking shit together. You're 17. You got to graduate 8th grade. And so you graduate 8th grade, and then you're 18. You go to high school. Okay. What's the oldest age to be in high school? Why it may differ around the world. The United States, the maximum age limit that a person can attend high school for free is about 20 or 21. In one state, it's 19. In another, it's 26.
That's
When do you think it's 26?
Oh, here's the thing.
Well, West Virginia.
Well, let me ask you this. Here's the thing. I mean, if you wanted to, there's people that hold their kid back a year because they want their kid to do better in sports. Did you know that that's a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's real evidence, and Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers talks about this with professional hockey players. With professional hockey players, all the elites, they all were born within a certain time of the year. And it's not because that's a magic time of the year, but it's because that's like the oldest you can be and still be in like 1st grade. The oldest you can be and still be in 2nd grade. Like their birthday was just right after the line, and they're considerably more developed than kids that were like they barely made it in on the bottom half. Like they're barely old enough to get into 1st grade. And this guy's he really should be in 2nd grade. Right? Mm-hmm. So, but if you can get to that spot, your kid will have this 12-month advantage in growth. And let me tell you something with my kids, it's like they'll grow. I'll watch them. And like all of a sudden, they've grown 2 inches. It's like, how long did it take you to grow 2 inches? And it's like 6 months. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. You grew 2 inches in 6. It sounds like nothing because it's normal. But it's wild when you see it happen.
Yeah.
But if you could get a kid that's already grown those 2 inches and already gained like the X amount of pounds, and with boys, it's a big one because they start maturing and developing and hormones kick in. That kid's going to have an advantage at sports. He's going to be faster than those kids. He's going to be maybe stronger than those kids. Maybe his hand-eye coordination will be better. It's like a lot of factors.
I bet that happens a lot. I didn't even think about that.
It happens a lot. So if you were a person who was like competitively inclined and you had children, you want your kids to compete in sports, like there's a lot of those fucking people.
I bet there's even schools that like, hey, he's good, but he could be a lot better if we held him back,
Yes.
Yeah.
Private schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guarantee you they do. I mean, I don't think a public school would say that.
It's big in Little League baseball. Remember when that kid, they thought he was like 20, but he's supposedly like 13 or something. They're like, we need to see the birth certificate. He's like, he's got a mustache. He's throwing 90 miles an hour. What are you doing?
Yeah, imagine being 26 in that one state and playing football.
What the fuck, man? Yeah, that would be crazy. Because if you could hold back that long, you'd be so mature. But once a man reaches, I guess your 20s is when you're in your prime, like physical prime, to like maybe 30. And then with athletes, they can kick it into the deep into the 30s. Like you could be an elite athlete. Like there's this guy, Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev just knocked out Joe Smith Jr. for the light heavyweight title. This guy is a fucking animal. He's 18-0 with 18 knockouts.
Jeez.
He's the only world champion that's in boxing today that has a 100% knockout ratio for every fight he's ever been in. He's from Chechnya. This dude is fucking terrifying. Terrifying, because Joe Smith Jr. is an animal. I mean, he's this big, power-punching light heavyweight, and Beterbiev fucked him up in 2 rounds. What was my point?
High school.
Oh.
Guess what state it is?
What
West
state?
Virginia?
Texas.
It is? Of course, because of football.
Oh, my God.
Maybe. But yeah, Texas is the outlier.
Oh, my God. I want to know what the oldest person in Texas that played football is.
Now I
in
remember
high
my
school.
point. Beterbiev is like 38. I think he's 38 or 37 or 38, something like that. But Google Artur Beterbiev. He's a fucking animal. Most guys by that age that are professional boxers, he's 37. Most guys by that age are starting to slide a little bit physically. Skill-wise, they can maintain. Dude, he's a fucking animal. But Google the video of him knocking out Joe Smith Jr. because you could find it online. He's a fucking animal. And Joe Smith Jr. is a dangerous guy. He's this big, power-punching guy. And this Artur Beterbiev just fucked him up, man. But it's interesting how he did it. Like, Joe's like real aggressive and powerful, and he just caught him coming in. His hand speed, the technique of his punches, like everything. And his fucking strength, man. Dude, all those people from that part of the world, those are some stout fucking people.
It's weird.
Yeah. And this guy is Hamzat Chimaev. He's another guy from Chechnya. And he's an elite guy in the UFC. Like, there it is. They stopped the fight there.
Wow.
And this guy does that to everybody. He's 18-0 with 18 knockouts. So everybody he's fought gets fucked up like this.
Does he know a special place to hit the head? Because it looks like he hit him in the back of the head. Maybe
No,
he has
dude.
like a secret.
No. He hit him on the temple. Brian's using kung fu. No, it's not kung
maybe
fu,
it's
bro.
right there is what I was thinking.
No, he's fucking him up with the uppercut right there.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the uppercut that really did it in. But it's like everything. Every punch that he throws is dangerous. He's an interesting guy because like he's a power punching boxer. Like his boxing skill is excellent, but he's such a power puncher. He's the most exciting guy in that division right now. He's really very, very interesting. And then there's that Bivol guy who just beat Canelo. Did you see that fight?
Mm-hmm.
Same division.
Yeah.
Whew, 2 Russians. You know? It's Chechnya and Russia. Those are fucking hard-ass people, man.
That boxer that died, that was pretty fucked up.
I want to check their plastics.
Yeah.
I bet
yeah,
they
what
get
it-
no plastic in their blood.
they're
Zero.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Right. If you think about it, if you're living up in Siberia, where are you getting plastic?
Right.
You know? You're not. You're just eating antelope every day.
Yeah, and that's probably all wrapped in cloth, not even in a refrigerator. You know,
If you're living in Siberia, you're eating moose. That's
Yeah.
what you're eating. You're eating moose. You're eating badgers. You're eating whatever the fuck you eat, whatever you kill, salmon. You're probably eating the healthiest shit that a person can get. And then you have a long history of people there that have done like hard physical work. That you ever see that Happy People, Life on the Taiga documentary about Siberia?
Mm-mm.
Fuck, it's amazing. It's so interesting because you almost envy their life. Like there's something about people that live like a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, which is essentially what these folks do. They grow food, but mostly what they're doing is like they're hunting meat and they're trapping fur and they're gathering fish. And then they're waiting out the winter. And in the winter, they do like a lot of their trapping, and they do it on snowmobiles. It's weird, man. It's a weird life. But these people, they get together, they're all drinking and laughing, and they're all happy. They have like a very low instance of mental illness. Like everybody's fulfilled. They all have tasks that they have to do all day. And it's all like, you have to, like, the guy's making his own snow skis. He's showing you how to make skis, with his fucking Russian accent. Not Russian accent, I mean Russian. He's speaking in Russian. And it's just, captioned over. But it's an amazing documentary because these people seem so fucking fulfilled. And we're so lost. We think we're so lucky. We think we're so lucky with our phones and our videos and our Instagrams and our fucking flying around on planes. But meanwhile, we're all like miserable and disconnected, and people get, how about this pill, Brian? Does this make you feel better? How about this one? Do we get the right spot? We got the right spot. Yay! These people, all they do is drink vodka and eat moose and drive around on snowmobiles, and they're having a blast.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a
So
vacation.
you show a clip from it. It's an interesting documentary. Werner Herzog has two of my all-time favorite documentaries. There's that one, and then there's Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man.
Which is like
the best documentary in the whole entire world.
Yeah, it might be. So this is these people that live. This is where they live. They live right off the Taiga River, and in the wintertime, that river freezes solid, and they use it as a road. And they use it as a road to drag their shit across and to ride snowmobiles across. They all have dogs that they've trained. And these people live there. And this one guy's been up there for fucking decades. This one main guy that he follows a lot. He's really interesting. He was dropped off there by the former Soviet Union, like way back in the day, with very little understanding of how to survive with a dog. And he was like, that dog kept me alive. That dog fed me. And so him and this dog would go out hunting. The other guy that he was supposed to be with, I think, bailed. But it's an amazing story.
Wow.
This guy had to figure out how to survive on the taiga, and now he loves it. And now they all talk about it like they would never want to do anything else, because their life there is just, it's so natural. And they just live off of this crazy river in this frozen part of the world where you can only survive outside for like a certain amount of time. And they're all furred up. And
does it explain how he found this guy? Like how he discovered him?
No, he didn't. No, I mean, Herzog's a genius. His other documentary that's really interesting too is about the cave paintings that they found in France. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
They found these cave paintings in France, and I want to say they're like 30,000 years old or something insane. See about like what it says. They found those, and they did this exploration of the cave, and they filmed it. And you know, this is stuff that probably hadn't been seen by human eyes for like who knows how many years. And so these people are discovering this in this cave and looking at it, and it's amazing. It's like there's no more vivid a snapshot in time than looking at some stuff that people drew when they were like the first people to draw things. You know, I mean, these are the most primitive of people. They're living in caves, literally. I mean, who knows what kind of weapons they had? Who knows how they were doing this? But these people, they all deep in this cave, they all lived, and they drew shit on the walls. And so here they are finding this stuff.
Very long taints they've had, probably.
Their
also.
taints were giant. Their taints were like your whole forearm. It's really, really interesting, man, because these images are fucking cool as shit. Look at these images.
That's cool.
So there was some kind of cats that they were trying to get away from. They drew that. They drew antelopes. Yeah, look at these. They drew rhinos. It's wild, man. Wild shit. What are they saying was the age of those paintings? Does it say? Find out what the age of those paintings are. Because it's just like...
Denisovian, right?
I don't know. Because, well, Denisovans, they just figured them out
Said it was France.
pretty recently. Well, a lot of Neanderthals were in France. Europe had a lot of Neanderthals. But I think they think those were Homo sapiens that made that. I don't think they think... I think they think Neanderthals did some stuff like that. Like they did have weapons. They did have tools. But I just don't think they were as sophisticated. I don't know if they drew shit. Because those are really good drawings.
Yeah.
Like the cat's face is perfect.
I wonder if it's just like one guy was really good at art, you know? Like he was like the Banksy of cavemen. Just went over. This is all him.
Yeah, here it goes. It's Chauvet.
Wow.
Chauvet. What do you say, Chauvet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chauvet cave paintings. Chauvet caves' importance is based on two factors. Firstly, the aesthetic quality of these Paleolithic cave paintings, and secondly, their great age. With one exception, all of the cave art paintings have been dated between 30 and 33,000 years ago. So 33,000 years ago, humans are living in caves, and they're killing animals and then documenting on the cave wall what they did and what they're after and what they want, and documenting things to avoid, documenting things they experienced. What were people like back then? You imagine going 33,000 years ago and just being a fly on the wall and watching people exist. If they didn't know you were there, just being able to just observe silently and invisibly. Fuck. What a wild life that must have been. They probably barely figured out clothes, right?
I hope not. That's what I was thinking. It was like hot chicks with, just hairy armpits.
I bet everything would be hairy.
Yeah.
I bet people back. I mean, what did they look like? Were they covered in hair?
Monkeys.
I mean, but that's no, because those are Homo sapiens, right? The thought is that the Homo sapien, like us, we've been around for, I think they think it's 250,000 years, right? Isn't that what they think? But there's dudes that have like hair, like George the Animal Steel. Remember that pro wrestler? Mm-hmm. His entire body's covered in hair, like everything. His whole back is like your beard.
Right.
Right?
Well, you should see my back.
Bah. But like, if you look at a guy like that, like George the Animal Steel, like was that how all people looked 33,000 years ago? Like, look at him. He's covered in hair. He was great. Yeah. What a character. Look at that fucking hair on him. Look at the hair on him. I mean, everything is covered in hair. And there was that one Russian wrestler, remember? There's this one like really elite Russian wrestler that's crazy hairy. I mean, he just looks like he's the ultimate male. So like, is that what people looked like 33,000 years ago? You think?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
That I don't mean like a pro wrestler. He's like a real wrestler. Not that pro wrestlers aren't real wrestlers. I mean like amateur wrestler. He's fuck, I forget his name. I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, look at that guy. There it is.
Oh, jeez. Why doesn't he just trim it up a little?
His name is boy, I don't want to fuck this up. Ketoev Georgi. I hope I didn't fuck that up, but that dude is hairy as fuck. Look at him, he's a werewolf.
That is crazy.
He's a werewolf. So do you think that people all looked like that 33,000 years ago, right? They probably had to have hair on them because you have to be able to regulate your temperature in some way. They're probably way hairier than that dude, right? Because you think about that dude's alive today, right? And he looks like a throwback, right? Like a throwback super male.
I bet women were that hairy.
Right. That's only, this is like a rare guy for this era. But what if that was like way more common 20 years or 100 years before that, and way more common 100 years before that? And you go back to these fucking people, they're probably fully furred up. They could still be people and be fully furred up, right? Mm-hmm. Probably super jacked. Probably shredded.
Or would they be super malnourished? They
would be malnourished too. Yeah. I bet they would be small, right?
Fragile bones, because no one had milk.
No. All they ate was meat. Like, you had to be like Neanderthals in specific. They had much thicker bones than us. Neanderthals were like 5'7", 205 pounds. They were big, fucking weird looking things. Like, if you saw one, it looked like an MMA fighter, but with a fucked up head. Like giant ass, long arms, big thick ass bones. Do you remember that crazy guy? There was some guy who was trying to propose this theory that Neanderthals were super predators, and that they would look more like a gorilla than they would like a human being, and that we probably went to war with them. It was like really crazy because anthropologists were like, shut the fuck up. But it was so fun. I was like, God, I hope he's right.
Yeah.
I hope he's right. Because he had these images of them. They looked like something out of like a movie. Like some movie. Like if you went to the jungle, they found a new super species of ape. That's what he drew he made like an artistic depiction of Neanderthals look like. But they were like... they had like giant muscles and shit, and they look terrifying. Do you remember that, Jamie?
Yeah.
It's nonsense, though, right?
I'm just looking. There's a aquatic ape theory. Is one theory on why we've
Yeah,
lost.
that's a good one.
That's a theory.
That's a good one. But see if you can find that Neanderthal thing, because those Neanderthal guys, the one where he's the killer Neanderthal, I think it's wildly discredited. By the way, this is 100% bullshit. But Brian and I had some pot, and so it seems
That's the fun shit.
Yeah, it's not misinformation, but yeah, here he is. So look at what it looks like. It looks like a monster. So this is this guy's idea. So Neanderthals were not the gentle, almost human creatures portrayed in the media over the last 50 years. New Australian research revealed that they were aggressive, powerful, and terrifying carnivores, ruthlessly and efficient apex predators who hunted, raped, and ate early humans for over 50,000 years. Neanderthals' daily diet consisted of 2 kilograms of meat, the equivalent of 16 quarter-pounders, included human flesh. So this guy's saying that we hunted them to extinction because they ate us. Based on new research, Australian independent scholar, I love that, independent scholar. I don't need your stinking university and all your checks and balances. Based on the research, our Australian independent scholar Danny Vendramini has developed a Neanderthal predation theory, which argues that the evolution of modern humans, including our unique physiology, sexuality, and human nature, is the result of a reaction to this systematic long-term sexual predation and cannibalism by Eurasian Neanderthals. Look at the images that he created of it. So sweet. Convincing. If that's really what they looked like.
Yeah.
If instead of like having a human-like nose, they had a gorilla-like nose and they had dark skin and crazy fangs. Like, look how like scary that thing looks. Imagine if that was like a thing that click to enlarge. Imagine if that was real and that was a thing that ate people. But fuck people too, right? Because I have 57% more Neanderthal than most people.
You do?
Yeah.
Is that a test, like a 24
like
and me?
Yeah, 23 and me, 24 and me. So that was my ancestors? Someone looked like that? That guy's not right, though, right? They don't think he's right.
I wouldn't imagine.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
But can you imagine? Like, we know that humans eat humans. If Neanderthals were stronger than us, why wouldn't they eat us?
There's what he's got one guy that backs him up at Stony Brook University.
Oh
He's very
shit!
enthusiastic.
All right, let's just shut the laptop now and start running with this as fact. They were monsters.
Stony Brook, man, we believe you.
You imagine just being a person back before we figured out how to make a door? How did they keep things from getting into that cave? How did you keep your kids alive?
It makes you kind of wonder, though, also when there's nothing invented, that you sit there and go, man, we should have a door. Like if you're just constantly thinking of new things, like wheels seem like they make sense. I mean, like I invented 42 things today. You know?
Well, they needed some sort of shelter just to be able to formulate ideas. Like you're always running for your life. If you're like imagine if you're a person like you or me, and we just live in the woods. You're running from your life. You don't have any clothes. Like how are you ever going to figure out a wheel? You don't have time. You just you want to get food and stop things from eating your kids.
You'd probably be fucking all the time too, like just gross fucking all day.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Probably so horny. Well, I would imagine that there was like an incredible urge for those early humans to breed because they got knocked off so quick. Like like any ant, like dogs, right? Dogs you leave dogs wild, they fuck and they get stray populations of dogs. I think human beings, if we were getting eaten all the time, 500,000 years ago, whatever it was, I bet we were horny constantly because you had to fuck just to make a new person, and there was like probably a numbers game. I wonder how many animals have actually been picked off by other animals to the point of extinction. Because we know that human beings have caused animals to go extinct. But, like, I wonder how many animals have caused other animals to go extinct. Like, where they were just, the balance was off. Like, the tigers were so good at getting the deer that there was no deer left. I wonder how many times that's happened.
I bet it happens a lot.
Well, it seems like that would be the test of nature, though, right? That's how nature tests out a species. And I think the number is somewhere in the 90s, like more than 90% of all species that have ever existed are extinct. Which is weird, right? Because we don't want anything to go extinct. Like we keep the dodo bird. What about the dodo? We lost the dodo. We lost the dodo. I mean, I don't want the dodo to be
Should be a
extinct.
couple around.
I wish they were around. I wish they were doing great. I wish nothing but love for the dodos. But it's a weird thing to freak out about. Cats are number one.
Mm-hmm.
The number one invasive killer of species around the world. According to research published in this month's Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, feral cats can be blamed for 63 modern extinctions.
Wow. Good job.
Wow. Fucking cats. But out in the world, see, that's an invasive species thing. I think that's how nature is like settled in after all these years. I bet if people weren't around, we could study it in a more interesting way. Like if people weren't around and you could see lions and zebras and like how like and follow them over 100 years and figure out how the populations expand and recede and like what makes more zebras, what makes more lions, and how it all plays out. Because it's a weird dance of things that want to eat things. And some things are eating the green things, and there's other things trying to eat them. And it's all just trying to balance it out. Because if you just let the green things grow, they fucking grow all over the place, and there's too much green shit. And if you just let the things that eat the green things, they'll eat all the green things. There won't be anything green, because these motherfuckers are going to eat them for the time they're sprouts. And so you got to get something that eats them. And that's where the cats come in. Bro, fuck living there.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine? More than 99% of all organisms that have ever lived on Earth are extinct. As new species evolve to fit ever-changing ecological niches, older species fade away, but the rate of extinction is far from constant. Wow. 99%. So when they talk about like a mass extinction event, you know, that so many things are going extinct, but 99% of everything that's ever existed has been extinct, right?
That seems kind of crazy because we haven't heard of 99% of all the like. Here's a list of everything that's extinct, right?
Well, I guess everything when you go back to like dinosaurs and ancient fossils and megalodons and shit, things that we pretty much know are extinct. Megadon's one I hold out hope for.
Megadon sounds like a
Megalodon
new variant. Here comes Megadon.
It's I'm trying to get that Megadon variant. Megadon variant makes your hog grow. No, a Megalodon, giant shark.
Right.
I was just reading something about him yesterday. That they just think they were just these huge, ruthless predators. They just ate whales and shit.
Ate whales? Shit.
Yeah, they were huge.
Wow.
Megalodons are gigantic. There's like a movie, The Meg. It was so dumb. But I watched it. I was excited. That's how big a megalodon's mouth was.
So whales aren't bigger than that?
No, their whales are bigger than that, but they ate whales.
I see.
They would just chew on them. But whales do that now. Sharks do that now with whales. When whales die, specifically. It's wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what kills whales?
Human race.
Killer whales.
Oh.
Look at the difference in teeth between a regular shark teeth and a megalodon tooth.
Wow.
Holy fuck. Just holy fuck, dude.
That tooth has a butt crack in it,
That
too.
tooth is so big. That tooth looks like a hoof.
Yeah. What the hell?
That's how big their fucking teeth were? Megalodon shark extinction may have been linked to
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. What did it say? To great white competition. So the great whites out-ate them. Maybe they just ran out of shit to eat. Maybe that was one of those things where it's just, hey, man, this is a bad design. You guys just take up too much calories. Look at the size of the fucking mouth of that thing. Make that a little smaller so we can see the full scope of it. Look at that, man. Nature's just so fascinating. Nature's like, listen, it's too easy to survive in this ocean. We gotta figure out a way.
How many do you think there were? Thousands? Millions? Or
What was
just
the
like
last one?
20 of them.
Did it recently?
Well, there had to be more than 20.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of megalodon teeth, which probably indicates there's a lot of megalodon.
It's
I've
probably still
seen-
hiding, too, right?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think they believe that. That's the
Yeah,
Meg.
super fake stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they believe it. I think they think they're really sure. But you know, the ocean's so goddamn big. The ocean is so big, but that's a big animal. I mean, that's a big animal. With all the people traveling back and forth in boats after all these years, you would think there'd be one legitimate sighting. I think they have some legitimate sightings of sharks that are extraordinarily large. Like I want to say the biggest one. What's the biggest great white shark?
There's that one off the coast of Massachusetts. It's like called Big. I mean, I'll check it.
Wicked big.
Wicked. It's pissa. Wicked pissa big.
They call it deep blue.
Deep blue. How big is he?
Estimated 20 feet, 5,500 pounds.
Jesus fucking Christ. Ah,
Wow.
dude. God. That's so big. Just a giant eating machine.
Oh, 22 feet estimated, I guess.
Wow. The average length of great white shark, female is 15 to 16 feet, and male is 11 to 13 feet. Wow. Fuck those things.
Dude, did you ever watch that Jackass thing where the guy got his fucking hand bit?
No.
Yeah, it was like in the middle of filming.
By a shark?
They were doing a stunt, and he got in the water, and it fucking got him.
Oh, gee. How bad did his hand get fucked up?
Not good. He still has his hand, but like he had to go through surgeries and like.
They didn't put it in the movie either, did they?
No, I believe it was in like like they did promotion for like Shark Week or something like that. I think it was on that.
Right.
Oh, my God, dude. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck that. Dude.
Shout out Poopies.
Yeah, poopies.
Man.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, imagine a biting machine that's filled with a mouthful of knives. That's what it is. Mouthful of bone knives. Just and your fucking hand got caught in that. Don't show me this. Don't you fucking show me this, Jamie. Shut it. Shut it. I'm scared of sharks
just out there.
more than any other predator, I think, because you know how helpless you are in the water. Like, you're so slow. You know, you can't defend yourself. You can't get out of the way.
Yeah, water
Stafford,
scares
they're
me.
still trying to save him here.
Oh, dude, get this off the air. I don't need this in my life, Jamie.
You see that thing that was outside of the Texas Zoo that no one could figure out what it is? That walking.
That's nothing.
You don't think it's anything?
No, it's they would have more pictures of it. What that is a person. It's like a person. They got a weird blurry picture of them because their camera sucks.
Okay.
Why is the picture so shitty? I would want my money back.
It's a security camera.
If that was my security camera, I'd be like, what the fuck? I can't even tell what that is.
True. Why does all security cameras like
Look at that.
literally the shittiest?
That is
yeah. It looks kind of like a
It's a werewolf jacking off. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like, a werewolf fingering his butt while he's jacking off.
Did they just have
Doesn't
a
it?
single picture, or do they have video of this?
I would imagine they have video, but they're only showing you a single picture because the video would make it look clear.
Give it away?
Yeah.
This is just promotional for a zoo.
It's nonsense, son. That shit's nonsense.
It never gained entry, whatever it was.
It never gained entry. Not yet. Not yet.
It could still be out there.
Yeah, I would like a monster or two to be real.
Right.
Can you imagine if they found a real vampire? Like, people just been missing. He doesn't turn them into vampires. He just kills them. But he only has to eat like once a week.
I'm more to believe that there's zombies out there. I think zombies could be a real thing. Have you ever looked at a video of people that are dying from rabies? That's the closest to like a zombie. And
Well, I have watched Biden talk. I think it's the same thing.
leave that poor guy alone.
I think vampires, I think there's a scientific analysis that said vampires couldn't exist because the whole human race would be extinct.
Why?
Because the whole human race would be necessary to feed them. Like, if one eats one, like how long it takes to develop a fully grown adult human being that you're going to eat. So if they suck everybody's blood, they just run out of people. If they have to suck blood every day, they'll kill everybody.
Depends if they need only human blood, because they could just live off a cow.
Well, now you're watching Twilight.
I just rewatched that the other day. It was
He
so
only ate
horrible.
deer. He was such a good person. / vampire.
Oh, that was. I rewatched that the other day. It does not hold up, and it never held up. But
It held up for girls.
It's so dumb.
They'll get damp in the panties watching that fella.
You know what's good? Starship Troopers. Have you seen that?
Starship Troopers
I
is
just
great.
rewatched that last night.
It's a great movie.
Oh, that naked scene when they're all just naked taking a shower. What the fuck?
What the
That's
fuck?
That's how it should be.
That was a good movie.
Hell yeah.
That was a fun movie.
Yep, and it held up. It was still
Giant
fun.
bugs. Because we've always said that. Like, imagine, we were watching the other day this praying mantis eat a wasp.
Nice.
It's on my Instagram. One of those, I follow a lot of those, like, brutal nature.
Kill
Yeah.
is metal.
And this praying mantis just has a clamp down on this wasp, and it's just eating it alive. It's like you holding Marshall. That's what it's like. Because it's like half his size.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's like you holding a medium-sized dog and just eating it alive. That's what this praying mantis is doing. And I've always thought, we're so lucky they're little. The only way humans exist is if praying mantises are tiny little things. Because if they were big, we would be in deep shit, dude. Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
Ass first. Love it.
Yeah, but look at the strength, first of all. Like, the wasp is not doing shit. And it doesn't even feel remotely stressed out while it just chews in this most alien way. Like, look at its eyes and its antenna. I mean, that is a bizarre and ruthless creation of nature. I don't think we appreciate how fucking fantastic they are because they're so little.
Yeah. God, it's
But
so
look at
cool.
that thing. You know they catch hummingbirds?
Yeah. I've seen those videos. That's disturbing shit, too.
That's wild. Look at that thing.
They're such creeps.
They're such creeps.
Those are aliens.
Those are aliens.
Yeah, that's Starship Troopers or whatever right
So
there.
the only reason why we can be as big as we are is because they're small. There's no way we would ever make it to this size if they were like big giant things. They would have eaten us all.
Mm-hmm.
We would have never made it. We'd still be hiding in the trees where the grasshoppers and fucking praying mantises can't get to us. So that was Starship Troopers, giant bugs.
Yep.
And I think bullets would bounce right off those fucking things.
Yeah, they're shells. They would
Dude.
have like armor and shit.
Bro, they go to war with each other. That thing.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Jack,
Bad
son.
idea. Bad idea.
You got Jack, son. Look at that.
Why isn't he not doing anything with his feet
Because he
and
can't.
legs?
He's got a fucking barb in his skull. Dude, look what he's
God.
doing to his head.
Oh god, this is so gross. Why?
And he starts just eating them. No, he gets them again.
Oh come on.
But look at that.
He's chewing his lip.
That lizard just got cocky and thought, and he get him again. That lizard got cocky. Look, he's eating his eyeballs, bro.
I don't like it.
That lizard got cocky and thought he was going to be able to fuck with a praying mantis. Play that lizard part again, because the lizard started it. This lizard is a dick.
Oh.
Look at him. He's a dick. It's like, get off my fucking branch. He opened his mouth. I'm going to fuck you up. No, you're not, bitch.
Right there.
Not today, motherfucker.
Oh.
Look at the pressure on his head.
No.
Look at the pressure. That thing is immensely strong. I mean, that's really amazing.
When he's eating the cheek or the lip.
He's just eating his mouth while it's forced and wedged open by his forearm, this armored forearm. Look how it's doing it. And then finally it gets loose. He's like, what the fuck was that about? But he's so dumb, he stays.
Yeah, what idiot. He's stupid.
And now he's getting eaten alive. They're amazing, man.
Fuck.
That's an amazing creature of nature because it's not that big. So you look at how big a lizard is. I think of lizards like dinosaurs. Like, oh my God, dinosaurs must have been insane, big lizards. But a lizard ain't shit
forgot.
compared to one of these.
Remember how we've shown a bunch of pictures of how cool they get? Like,
Oh, the
this
colors.
one's like clear. They look like flowers
like an
sometimes.
Yeah, they disguise themselves. They disguise themselves. Oh, it's one cannibalism.
Yeah.
Look how he's just eating that bug.
God.
And I don't think they can be penetrated by like most of the things that they eat. You know, they're so durable. Like, I think their claws, like if a wasp tried to sting their claws, I'm not sure if it's really getting it. Got a fucking snake?
What the fuck?
Praying mantis got a snake?
And that's what the name of this video is why snakes are afraid of mantises.
Holy shit, dude. Look at the
Snake?
size difference.
That seems crazy.
That's a big mantis too, but
Dude.
Yeah, I have a mantis on my back porch, but he's a small baby.
Keep feeding them your
Yeah.
your
I think
local
he-
snakes.
God,
He eats
look at
my
that.
toads.
Bro, they're amazing. It's an amazing. Look at it. Look at a mouse. Holy
That's so crazy.
fuck, man.
That's so crazy.
That is a monster.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that mouse. The mouse, like, physically must weigh more than the praying mantis.
we should get a couple.
Shut the fuck up, you evil person.
Get a couple mantises or mice.
Mantises.
What, and have them around, feed them shit?
Yeah.
That might.
Bro, Jamie's a psycho.
I think have it right here.
It doesn't have to be in here. We could have it like near us.
I also think you should just put a big bed here and have Marshall sit right here the whole podcast.
No, Marshall would just run around and get petted by different people. That's his general move. He can come in though. You want him in here?
I always love seeing that little sweet doggy.
Somebody bring Marshall in, please. He'll come in. But I just hope he doesn't trip over some wires. But generally what he does is he'll go to Jamie and get petted, and then he'll go to you to get petted, and then he'll go to me. He does like a cycle.
See, that's so awesome.
Yeah, that dog is a love sponge. He's the best.
I want to get more dogs. I'm addicted to him.
Marshall. Hey, buddy.
He's this little guy.
What's happening, pal? Come up here, Papa. Come up here. What are you doing?
I love when Marshall. Now, do you run Marshall's Instagram? Do you run Marshall's Instagram? I love that page.
My wife does.
Marshall's the best.
He's the best. He's got his own little rug here too.
Do you ever let him go? Do you ever take him to like dog parks or anything like that?
Well, when I lived in California, I took him running in the trails a lot. We did a lot of these hill running places. There's a lot of like really nice trails, but I was always worried about rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Because one time, remember I had Frank. Remember Frank and Lucy, those two dogs I had? We were running, same trail, and I run over this log. And as I'm over this log, I realize it's a fucking rattlesnake. And I'm like, holy shit. And those two dogs, especially Frank, was crazy. He got bit by rattlesnakes 3 times while I had him. Yeah, because he would bite them.
Aren't they poisonous too? Like
yes, yeah. His face swelled up. It was crazy. I had to take him to the vet, and they give him an anti-venom.
Wow.
It's very expensive too, though.
Yeah.
The anti-venom is very expensive, and a lot of people unfortunately can't afford it. I don't know if they have dog insurance. They have dog insurance? They must.
Yes.
So anyway, he didn't notice it. So he was running ahead of me. And so I stopped and I threw a rock and hit the snake, and the snake slithered off into the grass. But bro, he was as thick as my fucking forearm. That was a big ass rattlesnake.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of snakes where I live.
That's what would freak me out about running with Marshall is rattlesnakes, because Marshall, he's barked at barked at snakes before, and he got a possum once, which is very weird. It was like this. Just like, and he didn't do anything to it. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it stopped fighting. It didn't run away. Like, he didn't try to kill it.
Huh.
He was just like trying to figure out, but he wasn't listening to me. I was like, come on, man.
Oh, he was.
I was like, come on inside. Let's go inside. But he was like just fixated. I'm like, what are you doing over there? And then I go and I realize he's got a possum.
Craziness.
Yeah. But he's a sweetie. This is the first golden retriever that I've ever had. They're like literally the best dogs.
Yeah,
They're all love, you know?
That's one of the dogs. All my friends growing up, my best friends had golden retrievers, and I've always wanted a golden retriever. Except they have golden retriever poop, which I don't like that size of poop.
Yeah, you just clean it up. You love them so much, doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, I love all dogs, but these dogs, Goldens have like a really loving personality. Like all of them. They're all very sweet dogs.
I've never met a bad golden retriever, I don't think.
Everybody that comes over my house, he's like, "You're my friend." He's got like toys. He brings them. He has to, that's the other thing he does. Like if he had a toy in here right now, he'd like to show you his toy.
Right.
He has, like retrievers want to bring things to you, so they always they have like these little stuffed animals and they bring them to you.
I think it is cute though how big he is, but yet he still has his little toys.
Yeah. Oh no, he's a sweetie. But all dogs love toys. Mm-hmm. They love things to play with and chew on and stuff.
Mine don't. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah, they don't understand what toys are.
Is it because they're real super little?
Yeah, they are little.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, their mouths can't do anything.
Marshall's gonna chill over here by Dad.
Nice.
He's my buddy. He watches TV shows.
Do you let him sleep with you?
No. He sleeps right outside the door. But he'll sleep and take naps with me watching TV. So like if I'm watching fights or something like that, he'll cuddle. And he'll come up and like cuddle right next to me.
Perfect.
He's the best. As long as like he's in contact with you, he's like he'll just lay there and be at peace. Like he just wants to like have his body on you and your arm on him, and he just like chills. It's a weird dog, man. He's different than any dog I've ever had. He's more like a person.
You've always had pretty extreme dogs though, like warriors, stuff like that. Except
Johnny Cash was the sweetest, and he was the biggest.
Or that little dog you used to have.
Well, Johnny Cash was the sweetest until he met chickens.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
When you have a 140-pound Mastiff, and he decides that he wants to get at the chickens through the chicken coop. I've told the story on the podcast before. He got tricked into killing chickens by coyotes. The coyote was like a coyote that pretended to be his friend. And the coyote was so clever, it literally talked him into knocking over this chicken coop.
Wow.
Because I had a small chicken coop and then a big one. And the big one is where they would be most of the time. The coyotes couldn't get in it. But the small one would where you take a chicken when she's brooding. When a chicken's brooding, they pluck out their own feathers, and it's a problem. They think that egg is going to become a chick, and it doesn't. And the only way to like resolve it is you got to get them in a smaller coop where they have to sit on a rail and stay there for a few days. And so you feed them, they stay in a small thing for a few days, and then whatever that cycle is in their head, they get over it. During that time, this coyote had convinced Johnny to go and crush that little chicken coop. Because Johnny was a huge dog. And so he's like, this is what you want? You want to get in there? And because the fucking pool guy had accidentally left the gate open. So the Mastiff was generally separated from the chickens. So he knocks that over. And we're all playing games in the living room. So we're sitting there, I forget what, like a card game like Uno or some shit. And then as we're looking up, we see this fucking coyote jump over the back fence like it's non-existent with a chicken in his mouth.
Ugh.
I see him running in the backyard by the pool, and I think one of my daughters spots it first. And she's like, "Coyote!" And we look at it like, "Holy shit, he's got a chicken!" And so we open the door, and that we had like a 6 foot wrought iron fence. This thing with a chicken in its mouth just bounced to the top of that fence, put its paws on the top, and bounced off into the hills with that chicken in its mouth.
Wow.
I was like, wow, respect. Just respect for the athleticism.
Yeah.
The athleticism that a fucking coyote has. So they got that one. And then Johnny realized that chickens are a thing that you should try to get. So one day the pool guy left the fucking gate open again. And Johnny...
Who's this pool guy?
He was a great guy. He used to play pool. I used to actually play pool with the pool guy.
Well, that's hilarious.
But, you know, people make mistakes. I mean, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe someone's blaming him. I don't fucking know. Point is, Johnny got over to the other side. And when Johnny got over to the other side, he decided, why don't I just go right through this fucking giant chicken coop and kill everybody? And by the time I got there, he had killed a bunch of them.
God.
I got there. I had to pick him up and drag him out. He was just running around killing chickens.
Wow.
They were all just fucked up.
That
And
sucks.
couple of them survived, which was horrible because I didn't know what to do. And I was like, do I put them down? Do I see if they make it? And like one of them had this big gash on their breast from his teeth. It was horrible. But she lived. But I don't remember how many he killed. But it was quite a few.
Did she eat them all?
No. Our relationship with them was different.
Right. It was like a pet.
They were like a pet. They gave you eggs. And there was like an agreement. Like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm your friend. I'll pick you up. I'll pet you. I'll make you feel good. I'm going to feed you. And, you know, you never have to worry about getting eaten.
Right.
It's like they give you eggs. Like, isn't that a good deal? Like, keep them alive. They have a real social sort of situation. It was a good-sized chicken coop. It was bigger than this studio or this, you know, where we're doing the podcast. So they had, like, a lot of room to run around. They had, like, posts to be on. And, they, you know, they get all social together. And then occasionally I'd let them out in the yard. But when I let them out in the yard, the coyotes were, like, timing it. So one time I let them out in the yard, and we generally would like leave them out there for like an hour or so and then go out and check on them. But by the time I got out there, a coyote had already jumped the fence and had killed one of them. And it's just feathers everywhere, man. It was weird.
That's disturbing. I don't know what I would do.
But it's a weird feeling that you're being stalked by predators.
For your pets or whatever. But
one time I was in the bathroom, and we heard noises. And opened up this window and shined a light on the top of the chicken coop, and there was 2 coyotes standing on the chicken coop, clawing at the chicken coop, trying to figure out how to get in. Yeah, they were like, you know, they're wolves, right?
yeah.
They're like a little wolf.
Yeah.
Little wild little wolves all over Los Angeles. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Was that the first place you ever saw a coyote?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I guess that they're here. Our neighborhood doesn't have a problem with them, but we have a problem with cats, leopards or something like that, or bobcats or something. I don't even know what. We have a lot of those.
Bobcats.
Yeah, they're all over the place, which I found crazy because I've never lived anywhere where it was that much. Like
they'll kill your dog too.
Yeah.
They killed a dog in my old neighborhood.
I'm more concerned about, because we have a fence and everything, but even though they can just jump over. But we have a lot of hawks, like
Ooh,
big
yeah,
giant
yeah,
hawks,
yeah.
black hawks and stuff like that. So
Probably eagles too.
yeah,
I
big
think there's
birds.
eagles out here. Yeah, if there's not eagles in Texas, they should fucking import them. You ain't got no fucking eagles.
There's gotta be.
Where the fuck are y'all eagles?
Yeah.
They have to have eagles here, right? I've seen some big ass predatory birds, but I'm not good at identifying them.
Right.
See a lot of vultures.
Yeah.
A lot of vultures.
Have you seen a live armadillo yet? I've seen 2 dead ones, but I've not seen an armadillo yet. I guess they're all over the place also.
I think I have, but I can't quite remember because it was not during me living here this time. I think I've seen a live armadillo on one of our old Texas trips.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've seen one while I'm here, but I have seen a ring-tailed cat. Have you ever seen those?
I don't know.
Really fucking cool. Really cool looking. This thing was running across the road. I was like, what is that? And the guy I was with was like, it's a ring-tailed cat. I was like, what?
That's cool.
Like, look at that thing. It doesn't even look like it exists. It looks like a little avatar, little fuzzy animal.
Yeah.
Or like something that doesn't belong in North America, like some South American animal.
That's like with the armadillo. You see one of those things, you're like, what is this dinosaur on the side?
Well, we are so connected to Mexico, and Mexico is so connected to the rest of, Central America, South America. Like, there's jaguars that get all the way up into Arizona.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that thing.
What is that? Oh,
That's
so
what we
that's
saw.
what it is?
Yes. Isn't that fucking cool?
That's cool.
That one's got a collar on. That means they captured it.
That's cute.
That's what I saw. I was like, whoa, that's real? What a cutie. What a fucking cutie. There's also a fox. I have a video. I can't fucking find it. Of a fox that was in my yard making these crazy fox noises.
Fox noises.
And Marshall, one of the things he does, if he finds fox shit, he lays in it.
Ugh.
He goes and he rubs it around his neck and his.
Yeah.
So one day he comes in the house and he's just smothered in shit. I mean, his whole like wet fox shit all over the side of his neck and his chest, and he just rolled in it. I think the fox might have just laid it.
Oh, God.
It's like the fox comes in the yard every now and then and hangs out. It's weird. Like, they don't seem to have a problem with dogs. Like, dogs and them, it's almost like they get along.
Yeah. Bunnies are like that, too. I have a horrible bunny situation in my house, and we have about 20 bunnies that live in my yard, and they're just causing hack. They go and I had parked a car, my Civic, out in my parking lot for like a couple of days, and they went in there, built nests, and then chewed all my wires and did like $2,000 worth of damage to my car.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Twice they've done it. And
why don't you leave some carrots out, bro?
I know that's what happened when I first moved there. I was like, oh my God, these bunnies are great. And I used to give them carrots and shit like that. But now they just come up to me and like sniff my feet and stuff. Like they're not scared of me or my dogs. Like they think they would just start running around my dogs, like playing with them and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And it's really weird because there's tons of them. There's not just like 2. There's like probably about 20 that live in my yard.
Oh, wow.
And they're baby ones, big ones that have missing ears. And you're like, what happened to you?
Probably a hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way to keep their population down.
Right.
Unless you have big predators.
Yeah.
But they do have fat coyotes out here. I saw a fat boy.
You've seen coyotes out here.
Well, I saw. Whoops, sorry, buddy. I saw a photo of one
Wow.
that someone took on my street, and it was fat.
Wow.
He was a fat boy. And then my friend Shay saw a big one. She said she saw a fat one too. I think they have a lot to eat out here. I think they just keep their mouth shut so they don't get shot.
Yeah.
You notice like there's not a lot of howling out here.
No, there's not.
Yeah, different world, bro.
Yeah, it's weird. I hear more gunshots every night.
If you're howling, that means someone's gonna find you. You know, they're probably pretty good at it out here.
Yeah.
Coyotes are a weird animal because they're a small predator that roams around urban areas.
That look like a dog and kind of act like a dog. And
Super smart, man.
Yeah.
There's a great book if anybody's interested in coyotes. It's called Coyote America by Dan Flores, who's a guy who's been on the podcast before and will be again. He's got a new book coming out in October. He's going to come back on. But he wrote an amazing book about coyotes, about how prevalent they are in this country and how it happened. Because it all happened because we forced them out of areas. When you force them out of areas, they expand and they make more coyotes. And then they cover every city in the entire country now. Every city in the country has coyotes. That didn't happen before. They were mostly in the Midwest.
Yeah,
in the West.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember
Southwest.
Ohio ever having them. Like.
Yeah, they're in New York City now.
That's so weird.
They're running around in New York City. Coyotes.
Weird.
Oh, it's the strangest. And I think it all happened in the last 50 or 60 years. They, they figured out how to kill wolves, right? Way back in the day, the ranchers and farmers, they basically just poisoned cattle or poisoned horses, and they would leave their body. They'd literally stick like strychnine into a vein and pump it into their body, and then these wolves would eat the horse or whatever animal they left behind, and they would all get poisoned. And they kept doing that, and they successfully did that so many times that they killed off the entire population of wolves in that area of North America. And, they couldn't do that to the coyote. They were too slick. The coyote's like, I see your fucking game, bitch. And so when they tried to push the coyotes out, if they shoot them, then when the coyotes howl at night, they're doing like roll call. And if one guy's missing, the females start making more puppies. So female coyotes in these stressed little packs, they'll have like extra puppies. So like when someone dies, they make more kids, and then they move to a new area. They establish a new territory. But that's how, when people leave their cats out at night and Fluffy never came home. Yeah, well, what the fuck are you doing?
I hate that.
There's wolves out there. There's literal wolves that patrol your backyard. They're just small enough so you don't feel threatened by them. That's all it is.
You see that video the other day of a coyote attacking a cat and the cat defending itself?
Wild.
That's crazy.
The cat fought it off.
Yeah.
Man. That cat's a gangster.
Thank God it wasn't declawed.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Declawed cats are fucked.
Yeah, I'm surprised is it legal still? I'm surprised that hasn't been canceled yet.
It's not declawed. You're chopping the last digit of their finger off.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing you have to do.
And it's weird, growing up, we were always like, no, you have to get it declawed after, so you need to do this.
Well, cats are weird that if you have a male cat, you have to get it neutered.
Right.
You have to, because they're not going to listen. Like, you could get a dog, Marshall. I can keep Marshall from having sex. Mm-hmm. It's pretty easy. Mm-hmm. Just don't bring him around any hoes.
Oh, you didn't chop off his balls?
No, he's got his balls.
Wow.
So I had this conversation with Andrew Huberman, who is, what's his field of expertise? He's an expert in, he's from Stanford and is like a super genius on human performance and physical performance and like what causes people to recover quicker. So he's a associate professor in the Department of Neurobiology at Stanford. And so he said that when he got his dog fixed, he's like, he realized that his dog was just like more lethargic and was having problems getting around. And he started giving his dog testosterone, like after he got his dog fixed. And the dog came back to life again, like
wow.
was acting better and healthier. It's, you're taking away not just your dog's ability to reproduce, but you're taking away your dog's ability to develop testosterone. And people say, well, then dogs have a higher incident of cancer, of prostate cancer, if they don't get castrated, which may be true. But it's like, that's what a dog is supposed to be. That's a dog. Like, to save him from prostate cancer, I think what you should do is make sure your dog doesn't breed and make puppies be a responsible dog owner. But it doesn't mean, and if you're going to have your dog around other male dogs and it's an aggressive dog, yeah, that's probably not good either. Mm-hmm. Those are problems. But for a dog like Marshall, like, he doesn't have to get fixed. Stop. I definitely want to be a responsible dog owner, and I definitely don't want him having puppies that someone's not going to want or take care of. That's the problem. But I just think it's weird that we do that to animals. But you have to do it to cats, was my point. You have to.
Yeah. If
you don't, they piss all over your house. Like, every male cat that anybody has been castrated, which is kind of fucked. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, we can keep this pet, but you got to chop his nuts off 100% of the time. Like, you can have a dog like Marshall. Like, you see, he's 5 years old. He has his balls, and he's the sweetest dog in the world. Like, there's no issues with aggression at all. Doesn't exist. But he's got a lot of energy. He exercises a lot. We do a lot of stuff. He has plenty of energy. My other dog that I had that I had him fixed, like, later in his life. I had him fixed when he was, like, 5. He got immediately lethargic. Mm-hmm. Immediately, he was tired all the time. He just wanted to lay down, and it was sad. It made me sad. I was like, what have I done? This was like 20 years ago, I guess. But it was like, 15 years ago? I was like, what have I done? What have I done? Like, he was healthier before this.
Yeah, I mean, my male Shih Tzu, we got it later. I think he was 6 or 7. He got castrated late in his life. and he just sleeps all day. He's a cat now. Did
he change after you got him fixed?
Yeah, 100%.
And this is not us giving advice like about what you should and shouldn't do, but I'm just saying that there's certain animals. Like, it is weird to have a male cat because you have to fix him. You have to cut his balls off. If you let a male cat wander around your house, first of all, that's the most irresponsible thing because they're gonna fuck everybody. They're going to fuck every cat that's in heat anywhere in a remote area, and there's a lot of bad cat owners, and they let those dirty female cats outside, and they fuck up a storm and come back, and they're knocked up. But that's a wild life. Imagine being a cat, like a male cat with your own balls in the city.
Hell yeah.
Just wandering around, meow, banging, making babies everywhere, fucking up rats.
With your hooked penis, ripping all that.
That's what's gross, right?
Yeah.
That's what's gross. But I've met dogs that are fixed and they're super happy dogs and they got a lot of energy. It's just from Huberman's perspective.
And I think it's the age. I think
I don't know. I mean, you're not going to produce testosterone anymore. It's look, I know it gives you energy. I know it helps you recover better. I know it does. If you don't have that anymore, I just would imagine that you would feel more sluggish. And that's what happens to guys when they get low T.
I feel like I have a low T right now. I need to get it checked out. I checked it like 4 years ago, and I was on the low side of average. Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go crazy on this.
Time to start juicing, son.
Yeah. I don't want to do the shots, though. Is there any way to not do the shots? Mm-hmm. That just seems awful.
They have they had a spray for a while.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
Gummies?
Or like a drop. It was like there was testosterone drops. They did have gummies because that's what like those baseball players got busted using. They would take testosterone gummies.
Really?
Yeah. Imagine if you like gained weight because you got on testosterone because you're just eating gummies all day, but you got jacked.
Does that cream work? The cream?
The cream? Yeah, it does. But the problem with that stuff is there's secondary contamination. Like your skin gets in contact with your wife's skin. She grows a mustache.
Oh God!
Like, I'm not kidding. There's what's going on with this kid. There was a kid, and his father was using testosterone cream, and from his contact with it, the kid started going through puberty at 2. He started exhibiting signs of puberty.
What?
But also, I think they said his hog grew, so guarantee people are going to start rubbing that stuff on their kids now. Jeez. After that story, pull that story up because it's really kind of crazy. Like they realize that this guy is getting this testosterone cream all over his little kid.
Ugh.
Yeah, because it doesn't just completely go into your skin. You don't wash it off. Like, right? You rub it on.
There was a science version of it, but this is easier to read.
Okay, a 2-year-old showed signs of puberty after he was exposed to his dad's testosterone gel. He developed pubic hair, and his height was off the charts. Wow, he's going to be the greatest athlete of all time. Imagine if they found out. Look at that. Barnaby Brownswell. Shit! Goddamn pop-ups. Barnaby Brownswell developed a sizable, in quotes, penis. And pubic hair at the age of 2. The kid has a hog on him.
Jesus.
Now, hold that kid back 1 year so that he's the greatest athlete of all time. Hold him back 1 year. Look, on one occasion, she said a stranger remarked that he looked like a little man. She said some people had called him a Viking or Samson because of his muscular build. But it was only after Brownswell saw pubic hair around Barnaby's sizable penis that she got seriously worried. I knew it wasn't normal, the 43-year-old mom told Insider, noting that her toddler resembled a 4 or 5-year-old boy. He'd have massive sustained erections, and his height and weight were off the charts. Massive sustained erections is the new name of my special. Brownswell of Brighton, England added he weighed 26 pounds at the age of 1. It put on over 2 pounds every month between the ages of 12 and 18 months. It wasn't fat, just muscle.
What the heck?
Oh my God. Dr. Tony Hulse, a pediatric endocrinologist at Everleigh London Children's Hospital in the UK, was somewhat baffled when Brownswell consulted him in March. Wow. Oh my God. Barnaby had as much testosterone in his system as an adult male. The guy was going hard. Father must have been just slathering. That's the problem when you give people testosterone gel. They're like, I want you to use 1 ounce.
Right.
You're like, what happens if I use 18 ounces?
Yeah, was this kid like raging though? Was he raging?
This guy
out?
was probably raging.
Yeah.
He's probably just smothering himself in this thing. Let me hug the boy.
Yeah, come here,
Let me
son.
hug the. Make a man out of this boy. That's wild. Kid grew a sizable hog.
It's like you kind of want to ask, like, what's that mean? Like, how many inches? But
Right.
you don't.
You don't want to ask.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to ask.
Right.
You can't be curious about that. I mean, but they put it in our head, sizable,
Yeah.
massive, sustained erections. That's really what it said, right?
Yep.
It said massive, right?
Twice.
So imagine your 2-year-old with just a fucking Red Bull
You're
can.
jealous of your kid.
Yeah. Jesus. Just like a child's arm. No. Imagine a baby having that. Now that they know, though, this is the problem, man. They put that fucking article out, and we just talked about it. And now that people know that, there's going to be people out there that do that to their kids.
Also, like, so what if the kid was just, I mean, granted, they probably did test and figure it was testosterone related, but what if he just grew faster than normal kids?
No, dude. That's silly. You're being a contrarian. Look at this. Insider.
Stop being in an aquarium.
Stop being an Aquarius. Insider reached out to Bezins, the European pharmacy company that manufactures the gel for Comet, and is awaiting a response. Meanwhile, Brownsill said that Barnaby's, in quotes, avoidable condition has taken its toll. The toxin has effectively distorted his appearance, she said. We'll never know what he was supposed to look like at the age of 2. Oh, wow. What does he look like? Does he look like a little man?
I don't know how old the picture is. It doesn't
That's
say.
him 1 year
It
old.
says he's maybe 2 there, but
It's like the size of his dad.
The size of a child at least 2 years older than him. That he's muscular and the size of a child 2 years older than him. Let me see. Like, zoom in on his face.
oh, there's another picture.
Oh yeah, back there. They just had a no. They just
Oh.
You just passed one. That's it. Yeah. Wow,
He's
that's a
got-
2-year-old.
He's got the cheeks like he's on testosterone, right? Like it's like
The kid looks jacked.
Yeah.
Peter Brownsell applied testosterone gel to his skin every day, not knowing that the substance was being transferred to his son. That must make him feel fucking terrible. Wow.
like that
She's-
picture looks like the kid's raging right now.
But look at how they phrase this. Yeah. What the fuck you taking a picture of, bro? She said they were shocked to learn that the generous amount of topical gel that he applied every day may have caused Barnaby's issue. The generous amount of topical gel. He might have been one of those crazy dudes. He might have been one of those crazy dudes that just like couldn't put enough on.
Right.
Fucking raging. Rubbing it on his belly. Yeah.
And that's prescription stuff, right? You would have to get it prescribed.
Marshall's like, what the fuck are you doing? Trying to take a nap. I think, yeah, it's prescription stuff. Yeah. But I don't know, who knows who the doctor is? Who knows what the compounding pharmacy is? Who knows what the laws are in the state where he lives in or the place where he lives in? Yeah, I don't know how well regulated it is. Because, like, if they tell you you're only supposed to take X, but you're like, well, I'm going to take Y. That's generally what guys would do.
Right.
It's like my old joke about big dick pills.
Right.
Be 30 seconds before the first guy dies of an overdose. Like, there's no one's going to take one. But I wonder now if people are going to start doing this to their kids.
I hope not.
I hope
Because there
not.
has to be negatives about it also.
Well, it might counteract the plastics. Maybe that's the move. And the pharmaceutical companies all win. We counteract the plastics by applying testosterone gel to babies.
Stupid.
So fucking crazy that would even be a thought.
Right.
But you know what? This is what's really dumb. Me just having said that, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, that's actually not a bad deal.
Yeah, let's try it.
That's not a bad idea. If you really think about it, if we are losing a 50% size count in sperm counts, it's like sperm counts have dropped, testosterone levels have dropped, taints are shrinking, penises are shrinking, balls are shrinking. What do? Lather them up with test. Let's take little Billy. Like, imagine if you had a twin, and there was 2 twins, right? Both boys look exactly the same. One of them, you just lather him up every day with test, and he just towers over the other one like the Hulk, like an ogre. Just keeps growing. Giant hog, hairy, built like a Russian wrestler. Everyone's gonna want to do that. There's so many people that are gonna want to do that. So many people that want their kid to be in the NFL. Like, I know how to get him in. Now I know.
hold them back, get some tea cream.
Do you know? Yeah. Do you know they're probably doing that in China? Why wouldn't they do that? If they know that now, from this case, if I know about it, it's on the internet. I mean, I saw it tweeted 100 places.
So that's looking this up. There's a story. This is the first thing I clicked on. This is from 2008. It talks about. I think it says it's this. I'm imagining that means 7.5, but I don't know what 7/12 is. So it says very similar thing. They'd found like the pubic hair distribution was that of probably an older kid. But it wasn't that abnormal. The testosterone was very high though when tested.
Yeah.
From their child's father.
But again, I think it's the same thing.
Look what it says here. It says the findings were normal for his laboratory evaluation findings were normal for age except for the testosterone concentration, which was comparable to a late pubescent and adult male levels of 371 nanograms per deciliter. Brain magnetic resonance imagery and testicular ultrasonography were normal. Skeletal age was advanced at 4 and 6/12 years. Oh, okay, at a 6 out of 12. Oh, that's what it is.
4.5, I guess. Is 6
Yeah.
out of 12,
Yeah. So it's 4.5. Repeated. This is just a scientific paper. Repeated laboratory evaluation after the child's father ceased testosterone use revealed a normal testosterone combination of 10 nanograms per deciliter. Thus, this boy's sexual precocity was attributed to inadvertent exogenous androgen exposure. So that means the cream caused his testosterone to spike, so his body acted as if it was 13.
Wow.
People are going to do that.
And every single girlfriend and wife that dated these guys probably also have all this testosterone. Yeah.
Probably horny as fuck. They're probably horny, like dude
Hairy
horny,
lips.
all day, ready to go. When do you think was the first time a woman decided to shave her legs? Because that's an interesting move, right? Like when once one lady shaved her legs, all the other girls are probably like, "Oh, this bitch. Now I gotta shave my fucking legs too. Look at her with her fucking hairless legs." Like when do you think that happened? Take a guess.
Whenever the razor was probably first invented, the
Shaving razor, but
Yeah.
it was a straight edge.
yeah, not then. It was whenever they made the actual. I would say 1935.
1935. I want to say it was earlier.
Earlier, I would say earlier, other than later.
I want to say it was in the 1800s.
1800s.
Started shaving legs.
Redban is correct.
Oh, what was the actual age?
Around the 1920s.
Wow. So all those times in the Old West, everyone had hairy-ass legs.
It says the beauty industry caused it.
Oh, in the Roaring 20s, hemlines rise and the hair removal industry targets legs. Wow. So what did they do then? So this is 1927, okay? So women shaving their legs in 1927, they were on Broadway, so they were slightly atypical for the time. So that was unusual. Stop moving. Well, I'm reading.
Oh.
So that was unusual for the time, they're saying. These ladies were on Broadway. So it says, but during the 20s, knee-high skirts made legs more visible, and depilatory companies wasted no time claiming their products enabled a woman to bathe stockingless without self-consciousness. Bathe stockingless. So they would bathe with stockings on?
Ew.
What? So that's how they would cover their hair? Hope's analysis showed that a relatively small percentage of ads focused on leg hair removal. What? In Harper's Bazaar, for example, 66% of the ads mentioned it, but only 10% made it their sole focus. 66% of the ads mentioned leg hair removal?
Wow.
What the fuck, man?
I guess once you see it once, though, you're like, oh, finally, these ladies.
Stop. Go back up, please. Right there. Briefly, it seemed like depilatories might just be a passing fad. From 1924 to 1926, ads for them disappeared from the Sears catalog and McCall's, and most of the ads were seasonal, running from around April to September, timing that suggested women mostly relegated hair removal to summer, when their underarms and legs were exposed. That didn't last. So the 50s. In the 1950s, bare legs become the norm. So this is an ad from the 50s. Scroll down a little bit. Look at that. Give thanks for a hair remover that's kind to your nose and nerves. Oh, so they were just using poison
Oh my gosh.
and just killing the hair. Yes, it is. Whisk. What is that? Whisk you here? What?
It's a lot like Nair.
So yeah, it's like
Whisk is the name of the product. Whisk you hear hundreds of fastidious women talking about. Whisk doesn't smell, doesn't hurt or pull. It looks for all the world like your favorite cleansing cream. Breathes faintly a clean, pleasant fragrance, yet almost without effort, it removes unwanted arm and leg hair at the skin surface. And unlike your razor, Whisk causes no porcupine aftergrowth. Discover Whisk today. Okay, now look up dangers of hair removal cream.
I could tell you. I used to do it on my back when I was single because I didn't want, you hook up with a girl because of my back hair, and I didn't have a way to like reach it.
Right.
So I'd just pour a bunch of Nair on a trash bag and just like roll around on it, and it would get my butt crack and stuff. It was horrible, dude. Don't recommend.
God.
Zero.
How does it get it off you? What is it doing to the hair?
I don't know,
Is it
because
burning?
I would have to do that, and then I would have to like put a towel down and like pretty much scrape my back on the towel, and it just peeled the hair off. So whatever it does, it's like some kind of peely thing.
Here it says the chemicals in depilatory. Is that the right way to say it?
That's what you said it in the last thing.
Depilatory.
You have to keep going with
I don't
that.
think I'm the expert in this. The chemicals in depilatory creams are active formulas meant to dissolve the hair shaft. Even using such creams on a non-sensitive areas has risks. Burns, irritation, allergies, the skin around private parts and on the face is very sensitive and vulnerable to such products. Wow. So I've seen people that have used it on their face and fucked their face up.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Didn't Brody, remember when Brody got laser hair
yeah.
removal and they scarred his face?
Yeah. Yeah. He was so sad about that scar. He's like, "Can you see my scar?" That's why he had
bummed him out.
beards all the time.
Yeah, he, God damn it, that sucked.
Yeah, I know. Why'd you?
That bummed me out.
It sucks too because I have a lot of friends that have made me Brody paintings and stuff, and so I have them all over my house. And the other day I was like, this can't be good for me because I'm constantly seeing Brody every single day, and I'm
If you just can like get it out of your head that he's dead and just remember
Right.
with a good memory. The memory of him alive was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. I do miss him though, man.
I miss it too. It sucks. I can't imagine the kind of pain that a guy like him was in that he wanted to do that. We knew that he would, he'd go off his meds and he would be real sad and he'd be angry and fucked up, and it's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I've known so many people that have taken their own life.
A lot of comedians. Just Janice was talking about this the other day. My girlfriend, like, just knowing you, Brian, I've known more people die than I've ever had in my whole entire life just from knowing you for 6 years. And it's true. So many comedians are suffering.
Well, it's a difficult thing psychologically for you, to constantly have to get up there and perform for people and hope you don't bomb and deal with it when you do and try to write new material, and you're on one day and you're off the next. You don't know why, and then you're back, and then you're better and you learn from it and you keep going. But it's a stressful thing.
Yeah, it's constant torture almost.
Yeah, some people don't like that stress. It's different for some people. Like some guys like Chappelle just seem to skate through it with ease. It's one of the reasons why he's so good is his process is so seamless. Like he just comes up with things that mean something to him that he wants to talk about. And he just starts developing bits, and he develops them, and he just does a shit ton of sets all over the place. And he turns over an hour quicker than anybody I've ever seen. That's what Donnell and I were talking about it one day. Like, who turns over an hour quicker than Chappelle? Like, nobody. Like, he's like immediately has a new hour.
It's pretty amazing.
And then it just keeps getting better and better and better until he's ready to film, And but he's like super commando dedicated, constantly on the road, constantly doing that. But for him, that's his way of life, that's his love, and it works. But some people just, they can't do it. It's just too much. After a while, it's too much, And then it's also like interacting with so many people. Like sometimes that's overwhelming to people. They don't know how to handle that. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. And so some people just fucking want to check out. And then there's also guys that get mad that they don't think that they got what they deserved. They don't think they achieved. They look at other people that achieve more than them. They get upset. Which is unfortunate. That was Richard Jeni, right? Before he killed himself. Like, his thing was that he always wanted to be like a Jim Carrey. He wanted to be that guy that was in these movies and killing it. And he had a TV show for a while called Platypus Man.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing about Jeni was his stand-up. His stand-up was fucking sensational. Like, anybody can, not anybody. I'm not saying anybody could be a comedic actor. But what I'm saying is every comedic actor can't do stand-up. And Jeni could do comedic act. I'm not saying that he can't do stand-up. I'm just saying most of them don't have the kind of chops that Jeni had. I mean, I think a lot of very funny people could be good at stand-up, just to be clear. They just need to go through the proper steps. It's a long-ass road. But Jeni had already gone through that road, and he was doing, like, comedy movies. But I'm like, hey, man, other people could do comedy movies. Like, you're one of the best comics alive.
Right.
And he was bummed out. It bothered him, apparently. He didn't get the recognition he deserved while he was alive. But that guy was a fucking stone cold killer. He was like I learned from him how to make a bit comprehensive. Like, you completely cover the subject. Like, cover all the areas of the subject. Because one of the funniest things about him, he would have, like, killer beat after killer beat about something, and then he would find a new way to look at it, and he'd come in it from another direction. Mm-hmm. And he would have these bits that were like 5-7 minutes long on this one subject. You're like, holy shit, is this good? Just the writing was just so clean. It's like so crisp.
Do you ever take a bit and just try to do it backwards? I do that a lot, where I'll try to start off at the end of the joke and work my way up the other way.
You definitely can. Yeah, sometimes that's the best way to handle a subject.
Yeah, because you find new little routes that you never would have thought the other way. Or at least it's something I do once in a while, and it works maybe half the time, but I find it fun. It's almost like I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think experimentation, like, some of them fail, but some of them it's a way better way to do the joke. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
You never really know.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about comedy. People are like, why did you say that? I'm like, I don't know. I was trying. I was swinging. Trying to make something funny that might not be. And you have, like, these split-second moments where you have to decide whether or not you should try out this bit or try out this. Like, you have a thought in your head, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
And sometimes right when you say it, you're like, no, I'm going here. I'm doing this. No, I didn't.
And then you're stuck. Like, what have I committed to? I got off. It's basically like falling down when you're riding a dirt bike. Like, get back up, keep going. Don't commit to being the thing that falls down.
Right.
But it's the pain of a bomb is just so rough for people. It's such a rough feeling that they just don't know if they can keep doing it. It gets to a point where some people are like, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah, but usually that feeling of the bomb, if not the next time, the time after that, you have that really good set. You're like, God, I feel that better now.
Yeah, because you realize, like, probably you were a little sloppy that night, or maybe you were off, or maybe your energy was off, maybe you were tired. That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's why it's like, I think it's kind of important to be a little nervous for every set. Really do. Like, some people want to be calm. I don't think I should be that calm. I think a little nerves are good for you. Lets you know you're alive. You're taking a risk. You know? Yeah. Doing live stand-up, it's a risk.
Luckily, Texas is like the nicest, best audiences in the world, probably. Like, they're
so fun.
LA is like, oh, these are all managers and and people in the business. Like, they don't laugh at shit.
It's true, right? Like, why was the Ice House always so good?
Because it was regular people. Yeah, it was regular
Pasadena
people.
Regular folks.
100%.
They weren't industry people. There were so many industry adjacent people that I didn't know about until later. Like, you already become friends with them, and you realize that they wanted to be an actor, but it didn't work out. Yeah. And now they're selling insurance or whatever. And there's, like, a lot of those around too. So they're, like, really interested in the industry. So even if they bailed, like, I was a commercial actor, but it was just too much. I wasn't making enough money, and I decided to invest in my education, and now I'm doing this. It's like they wanted that. That's what they wanted. So there's a lot of those people. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting that. What I'm saying is, when you get a lot of people that want that are just, the number one thing is, this is what I want to do. I want to act in great films, and I want to be a great artist, but also I got to get famous to be able to do that. So how do I get famous? And so it's like a race to popularity. Try to figure out how to get popular, to move yourself in a position that you could be considered to be doing these things like The Rock, right? He's the ultimate example of that, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's so many of those folks there that have that thought. So there's so many people that are seeking attention. It's like an imbalance. Like you always want to have one of those guys, like my friend Dave that I was telling you about. He was the guy that was like the center of attention. He was the guy we would go somewhere and he would always be cracking people up. He was making everybody laugh. That was his, but if you can have hundreds of those stacked on top of each other and they don't get to fulfill their dreams and they get stuck as a waiter and then, maybe they had a fucking, motorcycle accident, whatever. And then that's your audience. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of that. You get a lot of people that are on their way up and think they should be up there, not you. You get a lot of that. But it's also like a good proving ground because it's a difficult spot. If you murder, like at the store, like you must have some solid shit. If you could take people out of whatever it is that occupies their life and their attention that they're obsessing about. And a lot of people in Hollywood, it's, whatever they're trying to do, whether it's they're trying to be an actor or a musician or a screenwriter, whatever the fuck it is, they're so obsessed with that. It's probably hard to get them out of their own head. So if you can kill in front of those people, that's a good sign. Mm-hmm. So that's a good part about living in LA is that it's like a strength training for other places. With like when we would go to Columbus, that's a great example. When we would go to Columbus, the crowds were always so good. They were so fun. Mm-hmm. That Funny Bone?
Yeah.
Fuck, that place was amazing.
It's my home club.
That's a fucking amazing club. I mean, we'd be like, God, the audiences are so good here. It's just because you were used to that, that sort of vibe.
Yeah, it's like Texas. Like, for the most part, people come out here to have fun, drinks. Texas people love to party, and
yes, they do love to party.
It's pretty crazy.
They're wild folks. It's just a fun place.
Yeah.
And it's not connected to the industry. That's the thing. It's like, but I think you look at that number of 4 million podcasts, like, whoa, yeah. Like maybe it is. Like maybe the industry now is podcasts, right? Maybe that's a big part of the industry. And maybe the industry almost like becomes something that everybody does. Everybody has a podcast.
Or they're streaming videos. Like everyone has a YouTube.
Circle back on that. I had the info.
Okay, here it is. Cumulative podcasts listed on iTunes June of 2007 to June of 2015. So active podcasts. So in 2000, when does it start? 2007?
Yeah.
That's when this chart starts, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we come in
2007.
We come in 2009.
9?
We're in the middle there, right there, between 9 and 10?
It's June.
Okay.
Each month.
So that's like right in the center. So that gets us up to
10,000 maybe? 12?
Well, yeah, there's like active and non-active,
yeah,
right?
That's there's a description of what that means.
It's closing in on 50,000 though. Can I just go back to that little chart thing for a second? Between where we start, it's like at the high end, it's getting close to 50,000. So it's probably like 40,000.
But that's so what an active podcast was a podcast putting up 2 episodes a month.
Boy, we were off. I would have never thought that. I was going to say 1,000. It's almost 50,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so we were OGs only, in the roughest sense of the word.
Right, yeah.
Like there was a lot of people already doing it.
I think also from what I remember about podcasts at the very beginning was that a lot of them were tech-based podcasts, and because only people that listened to the podcast were people that were nerds and techie and stuff like that. It wasn't mass use.
When did the true crime genre come out?
Also,
Twilight came out.
Is that what it was?
They had to go with tech because it was really hard to get them onto your device to listen to, and then also the length couldn't be more than an hour because it would take up so much space. You have to delete songs.
Yeah, so I think
would do that.
I think there was a lot of techie podcasts back then, but they were not even really podcasts. They were just kind of like wave files of people talking about stuff.
Right, and you could download them. You could download wave files.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think is the future? Do you think it's going to be that AR shit that or the VR shit that you like to do?
Yeah, well, I already see just by numbers alone that people are more watching YouTube videos and watching it on YouTube instead of audio-based thing. It's like drastic in the last couple of years. And I think it's just because everyone's phones have the speed now and the quality and stuff, and it's just easier to watch on video. I do think, though, the future is probably going to start when Apple releases their AR/VR headset, which will probably be next year. And and that's going to be like the podcast or the iPod when that came out, and people are going to be communicating so much using that, and
that's going to be weird, dude.
So yeah, I think VR kind of AR VR is probably going to be the next podcast, and that's what I've been trying to do for a while, just to get my feet in the ground and stuff like that. And I could already tell it's so much better.
Yeah, you're way ahead of the curve. You're way ahead of the curve. You're already doing these things where you meet up with people in like a
every
fake
night
diner.
Almost,
yeah.
And half the people work at Vulcan. Like
it's cool. It's cool, and it's I'm fascinated by it because I think this is step one on the way to the Matrix.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Ready Player One. We're going there. We're 100% going there. They're going to get way better at it. They're going to get better, and they're going to get better quick. And it's going to happen before you know it, and it's going to be so tempting. It's going to be so hard to pick mushrooms. It's going to be so hard to go out there and fucking, let's go fly fishing. We didn't catch shit. I could have been on an Avatar.
Yeah.
I could have been riding around on dragons all day, and I'm hanging out with you assholes. I might get eaten by a bear.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing out here, man? Let's go home and lock in. And everyone's going to lock in because it's going to be so much better than regular life. And I'm scared of that, Brian.
And there's drugs. Like this thing we play, we have this place that we go to, and you can take the VR version of DMT, and it starts off, you start seeing trails, and you start having the Buddha come out of the ground with all these, and we're literally doing fake drugs in a fake world with, it's so weird. Because your brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain's thinking you're tripping balls right now. Like it's telling your brain you're tripping and hallucinating.
Well, McKenna actually prophesized this. He said that he thinks they'll be able to recreate the DMT realm, and that in doing so with virtual reality, you will be able to experience the drug without having to take the drug, and that you will have the exact same experience. But he was like, he was a guy that would make these wild predictions about the future, and I think he just liked to get really, really high, and he was super duper smart,
Right.
and he would talk about stuff, and some of it wasn't like totally on the money, but it was always interesting, and that was one of his big ones, that they would be able to recreate DMT to the point where you could see it in like a VR type setup, and you would actually have the trip. But he also thought that he was a guy that was like really interested in the December 21st, 2012 date. Remember I used to have that license plate?
Mm-hmm.
December 21st,
Yeah.
2000. Yeah, because that was the year that they thought that the world was going to end. Because the Mayans were going to have that. What is this?
This is a game called Ayahuasca.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've kind of played this before, right?
I don't know.
I think we did. Yeah, we did. It was really cool. Yeah, it's amazing. Snakes are rolling around. You're tripping balls. Yeah, I wonder, this is probably pretty crude, right? Pretty amazing, but crude in comparison to not being able to distinguish whether or not you're there or not. That's when it's going to get good enough to you might actually start tripping. That was McKenna thought. But the thing he thought was going to happen on December 21st, 2012, he thought it might be the invention of a time machine.
That's right.
Yeah, that was his most interesting idea.
And he's probably right. It probably happened. We just don't know about it. That's about the time the world started to end, right?
Well,
when did that VR stuff come out? That's pretty close to then, right?
Oh yeah, Oculus Dev Kit. I have it.
It's
still.
kind of around then. I don't
Yeah.
know about that exact date.
well, VR had been around for a lot longer.
I know, but
It just had never gotten to the like sophisticated home use like stage that everybody thought it was going to. Like technology had to catch up with the idea. Like the idea was amazing, but technology couldn't implement it quick enough, Like what are the years it was like the first virtual reality movies? Because there was movies.
Lawnmower Man or something like that. Remember that movie?
Yeah, no, he got super duper smart, right? Didn't he get like downloaded into a computer or some shit?
Something like that.
That was a Stephen King book, I believe. That was
I think
adapted.
It was, yeah.
Stephen King is the shit.
Shit.
He's the shit. Who has created, even though he's crazy on Twitter, who has created more I'll give him a free pass to talk crazy on Twitter for the rest of his life. That guy made some of the greatest books ever for horror enthusiasts.
Has he ever been on here?
No.
Oh
He
gosh.
probably just yell about Trump. He's like very, very
Let him.
political.
I just rewatched Misery the other day.
I love him though. I don't care. I'm teasing. I'm just
Yeah.
playing because he's just like super politically active. But he seems like a great guy, and his fucking work is magnificent. Like you go back to The Shining. God damn, that's a good book.
there's a lawsuit about the movie. I didn't. I'm reading
Oh
right
no.
now.
The film, originally titled Lawnmower Man, Stephen King's Lawnmower Man, differed so much from the source material that King sued the filmmakers in 1992 to remove his name from the title. King stated that in court document is that the film bore no meaningful resemblance to his story.
He bitches a lot though about the movies. Like he hated a lot of like Maximum Overdrive. Didn't he?
Well, he didn't like The Shining.
The Shining. That's right.
This is the problem.
He made his own Shining.
He made his own Shining with the dude from Wings. Yeah. Remember that dude from Wings? Mm-hmm. I was super pumped to see him next. I met him. I'm like, I know that dude.
That's cool.
I met him at an NBC party.
Wings dude.
But he didn't like that Jack Nicholson appeared to be crazy already. Mm. You know, that like he wanted the house to like slowly take over, and this like in his book, it's a really gradual transformation, and it's fucking creepy. His book is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's amazing, and those were the days when he was getting fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like he had these fucked up ideas. Coincidentally, while he was getting fucked up, he was doing bags of coke and drinking cases of beer.
He doesn't even remember writing Cujo, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to tell him to keep doing that, but do it. No. I think he did it. He did his time. Let him write books on the natch now. But goddamn, when that guy was lit, he made some of the craziest books ever.
Yeah, I would love to have him just get really into like DMT and like mushrooms and write a book.
Dude, Pet Sematary scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid.
Great movie.
When I would take the T to Taekwondo, I would read books. That's what I was always reading Stephen King books. That was always what I was reading. And I remember reading that, just being freaked the fuck out. That was such a good book. All of it. Carrie was amazing.
Carrie was awesome.
Fuck, the movie was cool, but goddamn.
New one's not.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh God,
I haven't seen it. What is it?
It was horrible.
Why did they redo it?
I don't know. It's one of those movies that I watched it maybe a month ago. Watched it, and I was so upset that I then turned around and watched the original one right after it, and the original one holds up. Everything's so perfect about it that it didn't need to be remade, and then this one's just kind of like.
Why do you think they do that?
I don't know.
They redid Firestarter too.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah, what was it? It was Firestarter, right? That they redid.
Firestarter.
With the one, no. What was the one where the girl can like start fires with her eyes?
Drew Barrymore, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a Stephen King one, right?
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't that Stephen King?
Actually coming out this year.
But they did redo it, right? Like Drew Barrymore did it back in the day. Carrie might be the best movie that ever came out of a Stephen King book. That might be the best movie.
Yeah, it's just you feel so bad for her.
You feel so bad for you're happy when she starts wrecking shit.
Yeah, and the mom.
But that like represents in people like the same thing as the Hulk, like this thing where you deserve it, you motherfucker. Like when they would fuck with Bruce Banner, and it'd be like you're making a terrible mistake, and they would laugh at him.
Look how cute she was.
Really cute, lighting shit on fire with her fucking mind.
Yeah, there's the difference.
Okay.
Whoa!
So that's the new girl.
Who's that girl? Who's the new girl?
So when did they do the new one?
Just now, this year.
Oh, is that another one?
It just came
What's
out.
the one on the left there? Is that the new one?
Yeah,
that's the new one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
What reviews did it get, or hasn't come out yet?
I don't.
But it is interesting that they want to like read. How many Spider-Mans have they done? Like the origin story over and over and over again. They have the same story with different guys.
I know. I like the new guy.
They're not really the same story though. They're kind of
Settle down, nerd.
No, I'm just saying. Hey, I mean, I didn't even get into that. There's like the original Spider-Man. There's Amazing Spider-Man.
What is your favorite?
There's different versions of them.
I know my answer.
I know
your
my answer. My answer is Enter the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
the animated
Black Spider-Man.
Black Spider-Man's the best Spider-Man.
That's Miles Morales.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
That work is amazing. The film is amazing.
The new one's coming out.
But you know what's dope about it is it's realistic enough. You know, it's like really intricate animation, but you can do things with animation you can't do with people.
Right.
And it is a goddamn comic book movie, ultimately.
Yep.
Like, I wonder if they could do that with the Avengers and it would be better.
Probably. I don't know. That's a fine line because the fact that Spider Pig in that movie worked so well, and it's like I thought I was going to hate that movie so much when I heard about there was a pig Spider-Man. I was like, this is going to be the dumbest movie in the world.
No, it wasn't. It was good.
So good.
It was creative, but it was also, it's like it made me realize you can do things with cartoons you can't do with real people, like South Park.
Yeah.
Impossible to do that show, the greatest comedy show in the history of human race. Right. Agreed.
I agree.
Everybody agrees. You can't do it with regular people. You can never have that show.
Yeah.
You have to have that show with animation. And the genius of them and what they've created is you can get away with the most offensive shit with terrible animation. Like real blocky, like when that dude, the teacher, sticks Paris Hilton up his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Remember that?
Yes.
Deadpool's gotten close.
Deadpool is pretty good. I like Deadpool.
How has Deadpool gotten close? There's a lot of CGI.
It's a lot of real just jokes. It's just jokes,
silly
and
jokes.
referencing each other. Like,
yeah. No, it's definitely funny. But what I'm saying is like that with animation, you could do stuff that you can't do.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, at the end of the day, these are all CGI too. They're mixing in some of the
right, like Spider-Man CGI. Clearly, like no human being can move that way. But the thing is, like everything else is real. Like it's almost like suspension of disbelief is more fun if it's all just a complete animation. Like I used to love animated films when I was a kid, and they weren't that good. But there was something cool about a whole movie that was animated. Like, did you ever see Wizards?
I've seen almost every cartoon movie. Yeah, Wizards was amazing.
I saw Wizards, and I had a Wizards poster in my room. Like, God, I wish I fucking still had that.
Oh, you could still get it.
You can get one?
Yeah, I know because it's the one where he's like sitting on top of the back of a thing. Yeah, you could buy that poster easily.
That one right there.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, Jamie, please get on that.
Yeah, they got that.
Get us a big one.
Buy right here.
Oh, good.
Amazon.
Oh, Jesus. That's amazing. Do you think we could get a giant metal one of the red one?
Absolutely.
Go to that red
you
image that you just showed before that. That one, yeah. Make that a little larger. What if we got a giant metal print of that for the studio? Fuck yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a little kid. My stepdad took me to see that. I was probably like 8 or 9.
I like on the back of his saddle it says peace.
What? Yeah. It's a wild ass movie, man.
It's great.
It's a wild ass movie, and it was like, what year was it? 77? Yeah, so I was 10, I guess. Wow. But play some of that.
Yeah.
So it was a cool, like, apocalyptic movie, and it was about these. I don't want to spoil alert. It's only 50 years old.
Okay.
But these brothers.
20th Century Fox presents Wizards.
There's like a good brother and a bad brother.
Fantasy epic, born in the mind of Ralph Bakshi, the master of animated magic.
Look how cool this looks.
Yeah, it's rotoscoping right there.
I mean, it's a window in time. You know?
It is the story of two brothers, Avatar and Blackboard.
Avatar.
Powerful wizards, and mortal enemies from the day they were born. Avatar, the good, who rules the peaceful
So the good
kingdom
guy's
of
like a
Montagar
cartoon dude.
with wisdom
Science and technology were outlawed millions of years ago.
and magic.
But it's like an animated
Black
movie
Wolf,
for
the
adults.
future Führer,
Attention! Behold!
who
Evil.
rediscovers the ancient secrets of propaganda.
Oh, I forgot about the Hitler part.
Yeah.
And war.
So you got to
Sends
realize
out his
this is
muted
probably
armies in a reign
near
of
the end of the
unimaginable
Vietnam
terror.
War.
Yeah. People are on acid and shit.
When did the Vietnam War
In
end,
Wizards,
Jamie? Don't
you will
answer this.
also meet the
Oh,
lovely
wait.
Princess Eleanor, the loyal elf.
Look at this.
Remember Felix the cat?
Yes. I do. You know, remember R. Crumb?
Oh, yeah.
We brought up
Oh,
R.
yeah.
Crumb the other day on the podcast. Like, that guy had some wild shit.
April 30th, 1975.
75.
Fairies and elves, sorcerers, and demons.
Wow. So this is 2 years after the end of the Vietnam War.
Against
And this is an
strange and huge
anti-war
panoramic settings,
cartoon for
and
adults.
it is more fantastic
I need to
More
rewatch this.
enchanting.
It's been a while.
Fuck, this looks amazing.
and more powerful.
You just gotta realize, like, people are like, that doesn't look amazing, it looks fucking stupid. It looks amazing because we're looking into a window in time. You're looking into 1977. It's amazing because you're looking into, there had never been like animated movies like that before. Not like that. Like when did animated movies like the Disney movies. Those were all like really cool and everything, but they were, these are mainstream sort of princesses and
Kids
witches
movies.
and were they though?
I mean, Snow White was definitely not for adults.
I don't know about that, man. I think back then they were probably for everybody because the money would be in
True.
everybody. Like when you think about, I haven't seen a Disney movie like the old school Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh, you got it. Fox and the Hound's a good one. I'm a hound dog.
If you think about those things, man, those are also like a weird window in time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really strange. If you go to the Disneyland in California, they have a theater where you can watch the oldest Mickey Mouses.
Right.
Watch the
first
really
one.
old ones.
Yeah.
Wild,
I
dude.
saw that. It was cool.
But it's just a weird window into people back then. The old Popeyes, you ever watch those?
Of course.
Dude, they're the rapiest cartoon that's ever existed. Bluto was always just trying to grab Olive Oil, literally trying to steal her.
Yeah.
And Popeye always had to fight. Like, that's probably like a window into like what kind of people were alive back then, right?
Mm-hmm. You've seen the Robin Williams one, right?
That was amazing.
I just rewatched that. That's a good one
amazing.
also, yeah.
That was good.
Wow.
But it's like those early ones, the early ones were really disturbing. Like, Brutus should be killed.
Yeah, he was kidnapping a
Yeah.
woman over and over
Over
again.
and over again. He's a kidnapper. He should be jailed. And still, all Popeye did, stay away from me, girl. He'd beat his ass every week. But, I mean, after a while, that had to get tired.
Yeah.
No law enforcement back then.
No police.
Right? Did they ever get in trouble for anything?
Did they have a cop character?
I think they probably did. See if you find, like, a really old Popeye cartoon. Old Popeye. Because back then, who was that for? Was that for little kids to see that Brutus is trying to steal, like literally sex traffic?
Yeah, you wouldn't think that would be marketed towards kids, would you?
What is he doing to Olive Oil? Why is she screaming? How come no one's helping? He's dragging her away. He's a giant dude with
I mean, I liked
huge
Popeye as
beard.
a kid, though, so.
Pride, the Bride and Gloom,
54.
1954. Look at this. They're sitting really apart from each other, holding hands on the couch.
I can hardly wait. Oh, it's getting late. Come on, Popeye, you must go.
Oh, there's a
now.
cop. It's getting late, Popeye. You have to go. And Popeye's in love. Look, their hearts are flying off of them. They're in love.
Oh,
Look at this. Look at all the heart stuff.
wow.
Popeye accidentally put on her hat. He gave her a kiss on the lips. Look at that.
He just came.
He just nutted. Full on. Right? Look at him. He's floating on air.
Yep.
That's how you feel right after you nut.
Night, sweetheart.
Oh, no. And he
No.
floats over to a cop.
Oh, God.
And he kisses the cop on the cheek. Cop doesn't do shit. He literally just sexually harassed that cop. You were allowed to do that back then.
Yeah, nowadays
it.
you'd get shot.
Cop like
Look, the cop, he got red in the face.
He came
Do
to
you think he liked it or think he was embarrassed? I think he came.
Yeah.
I think that was him coming.
just found out.
Yeah. Now he knows he's gay. So there's like, oh my God, the photograph of Popeye is there while she's undressing. And so she had to turn the photograph around.
She's wearing a full-on dress. To bed.
Yeah, she sleeps and she's dreaming. She's dreaming of marrying Popeye. Oh,
She's about to get some.
that's sweet.
I do.
That's sweet.
Do you take this woman?
Oh, I might have picked one without Bluto.
What? No Bluto.
Which doesn't
Well,
make sense. but
what?
Yeah, I don't think
They
it's
didn't
in there.
understand. You have to have a antagonist and
Yeah,
a
not in
protagonist.
this one. You may find one like that.
Yeah, find one with Bluto.
Find a black and white one if you see
Yeah.
it.
Uh-oh.
It got remastered.
Why has he got to pull out the spinach? What happened? He's going to fuck people up? Here he goes.
I know.
Oh, he had to
He had to get.
eat his spinach to be able to say I do. Oh, my God. That's
in her
a
dream.
Herculean effort. Oh, that's ridiculous. Find one of them old black and white ones.
It's 1933.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This
Wow.
is the good
20
stuff.
years earlier. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is a
Wasn't
good
it? The other one was 54?
Well, blow me down.
Dude, holy shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is barely even animated.
Oh, my God.
It's like real.
Wow.
This is the good Popeye.
This is the real Popeye.
Yeah.
1933.
He's on top of one of those whales.
So do you think they made these for kids, or did they make these for adults?
I don't know, man. I guess they would these had to have been made for kids. Just because when I was a kid,
Where'd they show them?
They probably showed them
at
at the movie theater.
theater.
So like I heard a lot of people got mad when I was looking up the Thriller stuff. That got showed before Fantasia
Whoa.
in 1983.
Before a movie?
Yeah.
Was that
in the
before
theater.
it was on MTV?
Around the same time, it was just like, yeah. 'Cause they tried to get it, they tried to win an Oscar with it.
Oh, wow. No
So
shit.
they had to have it in the theater.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. Look at this. This is very racist. Every Mexican is hiding, waiting to pounce on Popeye. Oh, he just punched that dude in the mouth for smiling at him.
Oh, look
Wow.
look how she's dancing.
Look
all
how she
sexy.
dances, and look at the guy staring at her.
Look, she had sexier clothes back then than she did at the one 20 years later.
Times changed. So after the Roaring 20s.
She had shaved legs. Oh, no, she had stockings on.
Stockings. Look at the stockings. They
Yep.
go way high. Look how high the stockings go.
They didn't even have the Second World War yet.
Do you think that's why women wore those stockings with the clips? Remember? Those
Garters.
old-timey ones?
Garters.
The black stockings? That would be like more sexy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why they did it?
Heck yeah.
It's not just to keep their legs warm?
No, see, it camouflaged the hair.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, look at that girl in the back. She has a beard.
When I was like 18 or 19, I dated this girl who was like this hardcore feminist, and all of her friends were hardcore feminists too. It was very interesting. It was when I met her when I was teaching Taekwondo, and she and her friends did not shave. She was blonde, and it like you couldn't really see the hair on her legs, but her friend was Greek.
Ugh.
And it was wild. She had like foot hair, like me. Like I have foot hair, she had foot hair.
Disgusting.
She was very nice. It's like she didn't want to fucking shave her legs. I'm like, okay. When I was 18, you know, I was open to any and all ideas. I was like, I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Really?
Yeah. When I was 18, I was trying to figure out what the fuck I was. Who am I to tell someone they don't have to shave their legs, or they have to shave their legs? It's like, who gives a shit? I was young, and after a while, I realized, like, if you could shave your legs, wouldn't you? They look so much better.
yeah.
I don't think you should have to shave your legs. I'm not telling you what to do, but I think there's a reason why they're all shaving it. It's interesting, like pubic hair. I used to have that bit where I was like, if scientists from the future, like or aliens rather, if they were trying to study the human race, they would go, what happened to pubic hair? It just all went away. Like there was nothing written. There was no doctrine, and thou shalt now shave thy pubic hair to support the continent. No, it was just people just started watching porn, and they went, oh, let's get rid of that, and they all shaved their pubic hair. It all went away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until it didn't, and then girls brought it back because it's kind of crazy. Like, look at her, she's got pubes. It's out of control. But that's like one of the weird victories that porn had over culture, because it's almost a given that there's some maintenance done down there. Right? Do you remember when you were in high school?
Yeah.
When girls didn't do nothing?
Right.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
Madness.
Insane.
I dated this Italian girl.
It's not fair.
Ow!
Jesus, Italian girl?
Yeah, she was hot. No one cared, though. That was the thing. It's like, it's not like having a crazy hairy vagina was bad. Nobody cared. Like, they decided to care. Somewhere along the line, people decided to care. It became an issue.
I wonder if a lot of disease and stuff went up after that, because, you know, the pubic hair is pretty much there to protect the vagina, like filter. It's like the eyelash of the pussy.
Is that true?
I think so. I think that's what it's for. It's to
Right? Is that real?
like
That doesn't seem like
bug
it makes
gets
sense.
stuck in there instead
Because
of
the
going in there.
opening is still the same. It's
Not-
all
not
around
when
the
you got it-
outside. of
Not
it.
when you got a big bush, you know.
I think it's more to keep it warm.
Warm?
Yeah.
I swear to God,
It's probably important to regulate heat.
I swear to God, I read this.
But listen, if you think about it, right?
Probably in Hustler.
If you think about it, with men in particular, our testicles are outside of our body. It's a very vulnerable position. And until we figured out pants and jock straps and shit, it was probably always getting scratched on leaves, and it probably had to stay warm somehow. So I wonder if dudes' dicks have gotten less hairy.
Dr. Redban is right.
Back in the day.
Dr. Redban.
Protection from bacteria and other pathogens. What? You're right? Pubic hair serves a similar function to eyelashes or nose hair.
Hey,
oh my
you
God,
say
you
eyelashes?
nailed it. Did you just guess that? Did you just guess that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You could have taken place this whole fucking study. It should have just come to you. Imagine
mean,
how
it
much
makes
money they
sense.
spent on that study. Put it back up so I can keep reading it. That is, traps dirt, debris, and potentially harmful microorganisms. In addition, hair follicles produce sebum, an oil which actually prevents bacteria from reproducing. Do you think that's what? I wonder, listen to this. What if washing our hair is the reason why people get like crabs and stuff? Like
What?
bacteria and pathogens, like weird stuff that like we get in our body. I wonder if like your hair all over your body, everywhere, protects you from a certain amount of interaction with bacteria. Mm-hmm. If like you just let it be what it is and don't wash it all the time. Like if all those oils in your skin, if all those, I wonder if that like helps protect you from, because that's one thing that people fuck up when they get ringworm. Guys who don't know any better, they use antibacterial soap on their whole body for ringworm.
Oh, and it kills everything.
Kills everything. Kills
Bad.
all of your biome. So I knew this dude that I used to do jiu-jitsu with, and he got ringworm. He's trying to hide it. Because a lot of guys want to keep training. They don't want to tell you that it's ringworm, but it's fucking ringworm. And like sometimes you have to pull a guy aside and go, hey man, you got to get out of here. You got ringworm, bro. And this guy, he used bleach.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he used bleach. And it fucked his skin up, and he started getting more of them. And it was like he was developing like rashes all over because his body's defense, it didn't kill all off the ringworm, and his body defense to it, like apparently like in his situation. I think it's just, it was ignorance back then. No one really had, there was no like resources in terms of like Google search where you could get a detailed, maybe, I'm talking like 98, somewhere around then. Was there like a search where you could, well, either way, he didn't fucking search, okay?
Right.
He put bleach on his skin.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he was using antibacterial soap. So he was just torching his natural skin biome.
Wow.
This is semi-contradictory, just only in the sebum thing. It just says they don't know what sebum does.
Okay, it says sebaceous glands produce an oily substance termed sebum, the function of which is unknown. In fact, the skin of children and the palmar and plantar skin of adults function well without sebum. Sebaceous glands are part of the pilosebaceous unit, and so are found wherever hair follicles are located. In addition, ectopic sebaceous glands are often found on mucous membranes where they may form small yellow papules called Fordyce spots. In the skin, sebaceous glands are most prominent in the scalp and face and are moderately prominent on the upper trunk. The size and secretory activity of these glands. Imagine if you're like a science person and you're listening to me read this. Will you shut the fuck up? The sebaceous glands in newborns are enlarged. So what is this saying about it?
Oh, the last article we said, it just said sebum is antibacterial, and this says it's unknown what it is. So,
So, but even though it's unknown what the function is it known whether or not it's antibacterial? The function of which might be unknown, but it still might have antibacterial properties. Can you see, just Google, does sebum have antibacterial properties?
oh, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
The
but
function could be unknown, but it might also just do something. You know, sometimes things have like a secondary effect. I'm trying to be a scientist, bro. I'm out here trying to do some science in these bitches. Sebum fatty acids enhance the innate immune defense. Click on that one up there.
That's a PubMed article.
Yeah, but I just want to hear the title. Sebum-free fatty acids enhance the innate immune defense of human sebocytes by upregulating beta defensin 2 expression. So it enhances the innate immune defense of human, whatever the fuck a sebiocyte is.
I'm just going with that.
Yeah, so it says sebum may also act as a delivery system for antioxidants and antimicrobial peptides. Such molecules with antimicrobial properties are cathelicidin, soracin, dermaphtidine, Dermcidin. Jesus, these fucking names. And human HBD2. Interesting. I mean, it's really interesting. Like, if you think about how many things we've done to ourselves, we didn't really realize it was bad until it was too late. Like those women that used to work with radium, when they used to use radium paint, and they would lick their tongue and they were all developing cancer. We had no idea that was happening.
I got these 5 Garfield cups from McDonald's from 1980 or 1979. Do you remember those glass ones that have Garfield on it?
Yeah.
I got them because I had one and I was like, yeah, I could get them all on eBay. Bought them, been using them. Found out that they were recalled because it had 10,000 times the amount of lead in the paint than that's healthy or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But those were for kids' toys, and McDonald's has done it 4 times. They did it with Shreks. It's pretty crazy. McDonald's keeps on trying to poison the kids with lead paint.
Well, I would imagine if they have those toys. The problem is those toys.
Right.
How do you, as you get the Happy Meals with the toys?
Yeah.
How do you make a plastic toy and make sure it's not fucking, where are you buying them?
Right, China.
Yeah, where are you getting them made? You're getting them made as cheaply as possible to shove into that, because it's $1.99 or whatever it is for all that calories. That's what's fucked. What's fucked is the cheapest food is the worst for you with the most calories. And it's so easy to get.
Yeah.
Just pull in and you get it.
Why is there not healthy fast food, real healthy fast
Nobody wants it. Shut the fuck up.
But they haven't really, have they even really tried it? I
think it's harder to do because you have to prepare things fresh.
More expensive.
I think the closest you get to that is In-N-Out. Because In-N-Out literally starts cooking when you're in the driveway, and when you get up to there, your order's ready.
Is that your favorite?
That's the shit.
Five Guys is
What
better.
are you saying? I like Five Guys too.
Five Guys is the best.
I like it, but In-N-Out, I like that I could order just patties with cheese,
right?
Which is mostly what I eat.
Yeah,
just eat the patties with the cheese,
and it's cheap, so you can get 4 patties and cheese.
Yeah, well, it's good though. It's it's freshly cooked,
right.
And they don't have frozen ground meat. It's the fucking bomb.
Worst fries in the business, though.
Shut your fucking hole. I love their fries.
You love their starchy ass, boring fries.
It tastes like potatoes. I'm not scared of potatoes.
Worst fries ever.
But I will agree that Five Guys has dominant fries as well.
Great fries.
Five Guys will hit you with them Cajun fries.
Mm-hmm.
Cajun fries, that's the shit. Cajun fries with ketchup. Oh my God, that's a delicious flavor.
Yep.
Cajun fries dipped in the ketchup. Come on. And Five Guys, they get that squirty thing of ketchup, so you get a nice little fucking batch. Get them Cajun fries. I like Five Guys. If I'm eating bread, I might prefer Five Guys because you can get jalapenos at Five Guys. Mm-hmm. You can get other shit. You get bacon, jalapenos. That's big.
You could get it wrapped at Five Guys also.
Why would you? You're there.
For that burger
You're
meat.
there.
Yeah, you're right.
You're there. I think it's just limit it to occasionally. The thing about stuff that's delicious but you know is not good for you, just occasionally. There's things that are delicious, like a croissant. A croissant with chocolate in it. Come on. Every now and then you should experience that.
Yeah.
It's someone's expression of culinary love. It's baking love. A nice, warm, fresh out of the oven croissant with chocolate. You're like, it's moist and gooey and buttery. Croissant's buttery. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Root beer milkshake from P. Terry's.
Ooh.
Have you had that yet?
I have not.
It's the best thing ever. They use the syrup that they make root beer with, and they just pour it into the ice cream milkshake. So it's like a root beer float that never has. It always has the best version of a root beer.
How many calories would you estimate that to be?
300 probably for a medium.
300.
200.
Do you ever go on?
Right, it's way more than that.
Is it? 300 calories for a medium. Look it up.
No way. Dude.
Right. What do you think it is? 300.
1,000.
Yeah.
1,000?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think it might be 1,000. Might be 1,000,000.
It's pretty close to 1,000.
Root beer milkshake.
So let's. What do you think is the most calorie dense drink that exists? Would it be like those?
A protein shake.
Yeah, but I mean sugar.
Regular,
How many
regular
calories for something someone buy? Slurpees. Those fucking.
Those are pretty bad 'cause
Red
it's all
and
sugar.
blue Slurpees.
Yeah.
Those have to be crazy bad. What is a big gulp Slurpee?
I don't think it's that bad because it's just like a soda pop that's frozen.
It's so good though. It must have so much sugar in it. It's so much more delicious than regular soda.
Oh, 680 calories.
680. Dude, I want you to get on a bike and try to burn 680 calories.
No.
It's so hard.
I'll get on my e-bikes.
I have that assault bike, the Echo bike from Rogue. You know that thing? Where you it's a fan, you're propelling a fan.
Yeah.
Wow, and you're doing your arms and your legs at the same time.
Yeah, I got an elliptical.
I go ham on that thing and I get off. It's like 200 calories. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
What? 200? Like, to get 1,000 calories, you got to fucking haul ass for a long period of time.
Yeah.
How much effort is involved to get 1,000 calories? Like, if you're doing a bike, if you're riding like a Peloton, what kind of effort do you have to do to get 1,000 calories? Seems like that'd be like a couple of hours.
Because I think it went at the hardest I've ever gone on an elliptical. I never got to 1,000.
Fast.
Here it goes. If you're cycling at a rate of 10 to 12 miles an hour, you can burn roughly 7 calories per minute, depending on how much you weigh. If you bump up the intensity to 14 to 16 miles an hour, you can burn up to 15 calories per minute. Based on those numbers, you'd have to maintain a pace of 14 miles per hour for about 65 to 70 minutes to burn 1,000 calories. Whoa, that's a lot of fucking effort.
Yeah, that's pretty fast too. 14 to 16.
Now imagine what those fucking Tour de France guys burn in a day.
Ugh.
Imagine what that's like.
Nuts.
Dude. Fuck all that. A lot of bike riders around here, right? And they all dress like they're in the Tour de France.
It's all 21 stages.
Tons.
6,000 per stage.
Does anybody ride a serious bike with regular clothes?
I do.
Yeah.
I
Those
ride
bike
e-bikes.
guys are all riding like they're in a race where you have to be streamlined.
Do you have an e-bike yet?
No.
Oh my God, you would have so much fun on it, dude. It's like
Really?
having your own little motorcycle, dirt bike.
Why not just get a motorcycle or a dirt bike?
Because you don't need a license or insurance, and you could just drive around. You could drive around like mountains, and you can go on bike paths. You're allowed on most bike paths. You can just bring it on your bike path.
Because it's silent?
Because it's silent, and it's a legal bike.
Oh,
you know?
I have used those before deer hunting with John Dudley.
Yeah.
My friend John Dudley has this beautiful place in Iowa, and he has cultivated it for all archery deer hunting. So he has all these ways to go in without leaving any scent. And the best way to go in is on an e-bike because your feet never touch the ground. So you don't rub up against the branches and shit with your clothing and stink things up. So you're riding this bike, and the bike is just rubber, and the deer don't recognize that smells like a predator.
Right.
And then he parks the e-bikes, then climbs up a tree.
Hell yeah.
Like a fucking ninja.
Probably has a Suron.
Suron? What's that?
It's one of the best dirt bike.
I don't know what he has, but they're cool. It's a way easier ride because that way you don't want to get sweaty. The thing is, if you get it's cold as shit in Iowa in November, right? So you get in there, you do not want to be sweaty and then sit still because you'll fucking freeze your ass off. It's not good for you, which is why people, by the way, wear wool clothing. That's the secret. Because you get wet and sweaty with wool on, it maintains your body temperature. Mm-hmm. It's really weird.
Yeah, because you're a regular sheep.
Yeah. Look at this. That's is this the one John has?
What's John talking
Let
about?
me play John's what he's saying. He must be doing a commercial for these guys.
That looks like a motorcycle.
This is a new one.
Look at the wheels. Those are nice.
Or even out checking game cameras.
Oh,
or
sick.
on the hunt. I've used this thing in several different types of settings, everywhere from the mountains out west all the way to right here in the heart of the Midwest. But I can tell you, I couldn't be more excited not only about Volcon's e-Power Sports Grunt, but also the future ones that are coming down the road. Make sure you head to the website and check them out. This is going to completely change the outdoor world.
That looks like a motor. You'll get pulled over for that.
That seems like an electric motorcycle that you could take on a dirt road. Yeah. And I wonder how fast they go. That's where it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
I have one that goes, I think, 40.
I've gotten advertised a scooter that goes 60.
I bought Janice a scooter, and I didn't know it went 60.
Jeez.
They have a
so fast.
professional scooter league now.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah.
I've seen the flips that people do with scooters. I saw this dude hit a skateboard ramp and did a full flip and landed on the skateboard on top. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I landed on the whatever the fuck scooter on top with his hands on the...
Have you seen the Super 73 new motorcycle, e-motorcycle?
What is this, Jamie?
These are the guys that
Oh, my God. They're flying. They're racing in scooters with motorcycle outfits on.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
Holy shit, they're that fast? Because they're electric, right? That makes sense, just like a Tesla.
Yep.
They'd be stupid fast.
And they have great. The one I have, amazing suspension. I could go over like rocks.
Oh, this is kind of wild. I wonder how much worse that is at handling than a regular motorcycle.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
in theory, aren't they powered by the same motor?
I don't know, but you're upright. I would wonder if like being low with a lower center of gravity would make maneuvers more easy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're standing up, it seems like maybe that would be harder to hit like hard turns like that. Like if you're sitting on a bike and you're like hunkered down on the bike.
He's pretty sideways there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I don't know. But it's crazy that kids are just gonna buy these and whiz into traffic.
They're so popular right now. It's insane.
Yeah, in downtown Austin, it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's like Scooterville every day.
Yeah. My friend Dylan, he has a whole YouTube channel where all he does is he lives in a bus with solar, and he just goes riding with like a group of like 40 people throughout like LA and different cities. Just like they're like bike gangs, and they're all on e-bikes. They're on those one wheels. They're all on these like electric things, and they just roll it around and just go through red lights and stuff like that.
Jesus Christ.
It's gotten so popular with that, though.
I watched a couple guys go through a red light the other night. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Man? They looked, and they just went for it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What if you fall? Well, there's a. I can't tell that story. Shit. I'll tell you afterwards. Remind me.
Okay.
Dog shit. Remind me.
Dog shit? Oh, man. Dog shit.
I'll tell you later. It's funny, though. Not my dog. Some lady. Her dog took a shit in the middle of a crosswalk, and she stopped and picked up the dog shit and stopped traffic.
Oh, really?
She's bent over, scooping up traffic in the middle of the crosswalk.
Well, I guess that's the right thing to do so no one steps on it, but...
Get off the road.
Yeah.
Go back and get it the same way a crow gets a dead squirrel.
That's right.
Just let that shit go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get killed. That's all I can say about that.
Oh, I got a Supra since last time.
I know, dude. I love it. I saw the sickest one yesterday.
Yeah?
I was thinking of you. Yeah, I saw a really sick silver one. Someone had taken a silver one, and just like one of those images that I sent you, it had like that fin on the back.
Yeah.
And then it had those really cool wheels put on it. Oh, my God. What a great shape.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting it colored or wrapped a different color or something like that. I like the white, but...
What would you get?
I don't know.
Pink camo?
I've always been a matte black everything.
Matte black's dope.
Yeah.
The only problem with I've had friends that have had cars that have been wrapped and they get bubbles and shit. You got to make sure that people do it. They do a good job.
Yeah.
Sometimes they peel off and shit, and that's annoying. Then you got to bring it back in. They got to do it again.
Especially in LA, they only last like 2 or 3 years.
What about out here? It's hot as fuck.
Yeah, it's probably it's moist out here though. I don't know.
Is that better?
Probably. I don't. I get Expel, which is the paint protection film, where like if you scratch it and the sun hits it, it melts it back together.
What?
And it lasts like 10 years. Yeah.
What?
It's great.
What? It's Wolverine?
It's pretty much like Wolverine.
Wolverine paint.
Yeah, it's Wolverine paint.
Whoa.
And it's cool because it's.
Don't tell people that. They're gonna try it.
No, I know.
It's gonna kill your car, Redban.
But yeah, it's great because it not only protects your paint. It's like really strong, so like if rocks hit it and stuff like that,
oh, that's
it doesn't
great.
do anything with the paint.
They have that ceramic coating too, so it's easy to wash your car. Just hose it off almost.
Yeah.
Like stuff barely sticks to it, just slides and glides right off of it. It's like some sort of ceramic coating that they put on it.
Except I have hard water, so anytime I do that, it just leaves those little dots everywhere.
Doesn't that just mean minerals?
Minerals, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that good for you? It's probably good for you.
I don't know.
Is it?
It feels weird.
Feels weird on you.
Feels weird?
You know? Yeah, if there's a lot, it leaves like a film, like a slimy film.
Well, right. What is that though? Hard water is just minerals, right? Let's Google. Are there any benefits to hard water? Are there any health benefits to hard water?
I have a water softener, so it's all salt, and I always thought that's why it felt slimy, because of the water softener.
Oh, so then you can't drink it? Can you still drink it?
Oh, no, you can drink it.
With salt in it? How much salt is in it?
It's a lot of salt.
So you taste salty water?
No, because I also have...
Probably getting pickled.
Water.
The mineral composition of hard water gives it a ton of health benefits, such as protecting your heart and bones. Holy shit. Calcium helps prevent osteoporosis, whilst the benefits of hard water are substantial. Its mineral composition is not great for your hair and skin. Wow. So it's good to drink. It's good to drink hard water, but the mineral composition is not great for your hair and skin.
It dries you out.
Well, my hair and skin, I don't give a fuck about. So let's go.
Next one.
I'll moisturize myself. Next, what does hard water do to your insides? Oh boy. High levels of calcium and magnesium can affect several organs in your body and cause health problems.
Yikes.
Shit. One of the most severe effects of hard water is an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Whoa. According to several international studies, both heart disease and high blood pressure can be caused by drinking hard water. Interesting. So what was the other one saying then? Is this like still up for debate, or was the other one like a wacky one? Well, that one's in the UK. Interesting. I wonder who's right and who's been paid off. Dun, 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 dun.
And the other website's from Service Pro Plumbers.
Oh, Jesus. It is. It's a plumbing propaganda website.
Yeah, because they're selling
to get
cleaners.
You to fix your fucking hard water.
No, to have what I have, like a reverse osmosis water.
Wow.
Well, there's also soft water, so
But that's
there's both sides of it.
Okay, but that's kind of hilarious that it's Service
Yes.
Pros Plumbers.
Right.
That's kind of hilarious. You better fix that right now, and we can do it today for $99.99.
Yeah, they're hooking up water filters underneath your sink.
Wow. But what's true? Why
probably
should
say-
we not drink hard water? Here we go. One of the most obvious effects of hard water is skin irritation, and eczema is an example to it. Using hard water not only makes your skin dry, but also leads to bumpy patches on the skin. These skin problems are caused by the presence of excessive minerals in the water. So that's the negative. So the negative is that it fucks with your skin. So click on that one. 3 possible effects of using hard water on the human body.
She looks pretty fine.
Before we go further, though, this is also
Plumbing.
healthcare products website. So they might
get
be
outta
selling
here.
you products to fix.
Selling me
these
some shit to
problems.
fix hard water. Advantages of using soft water. Okay, go a little lower. Lower. How hard water lead to hair loss. The effects of hard water on your kidney. Kidney dysfunction. Click on that. See if it's a science study. It says, yeah.
Yeah, it is, I think.
Let's see what it says. The effects of hard water consumption on kidney function. Insights from mathematical modeling.
Wow.
Goddamn liberals.
No, it's right. It's it's hard to know who's right on that one. You know, hey Marsha, you up, buddy? Nope, back down. We're too loud. Hard to know who's right.
Yeah.
But definitely minerals are important. Like you fucking need minerals.
Yeah.
There's a book that I read way back in the day called Dead Doctors Don't Lie. This is this guy, Dr. Joel Wallach, and he was pointing out that, like, why is it that when animals, like when you have a farm and your animals show like signs of diseases, you feed them minerals. You give them minerals in their diet, and it helps cure a lot of ailments that these animals go through. But you don't do that with people. And he was like, mineral deficiencies are a real problem. He said I don't know if this is true, but he was talking about the minerals in the topsoil. They've been nutrient deficient for like the last who knows how many years. But like they keep recycling the topsoil. They add stuff to it. They have to add things to it. They have to add, chemical fertilizers and all this different shit, nitrogen, all this different shit to try to get food to grow in it again.
Yeah.
And that we need minerals.
We do.
So maybe there's an anti-mineral campaign. But maybe there's too many minerals in that hard water.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe it's both things at the same time.
If you have hard water, it always destroys everything, like your bathtubs and stuff like that. It turns everything white. And
Maybe what you need is like a little bit of hard water. Like a little bit of hard water every now and again is probably good for you because you get all that minerals. But just don't drink it every day. Maybe.
Do you have hard water where you're at?
Yeah, we have hard water.
So you have a water softener?
Yeah, we got all that shit. I wonder what it actually does, though.
I just
wonder
know
how
I
much
have
it takes out.
I have to dump like 2 or 3 huge bags in it every couple months, of salt. And
Yeah, but how's that working?
I don't know what it does, man. I think it filters through the salt.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what's pretty wild about filters. Like they make filters with like sand and rocks, and you can take like nasty water and pour it through that filter, and it'll come out clear.
Yeah, Life Straw or whatever.
Yeah, they have those. They have those straws that you can like walk up to a fucking pond and suck through the it looks like a vape pen almost, like
Yeah.
a big vape pen. You suck through.
Oh, you know what? Totally off random. You giving people smelling salts is. You need to do that to every single guest.
Do you want to try it? Yeah, you need to try it.
It's just ammonia, right?
We have it over there, Jamie. Jamie's got it.
It's just ammonia, right? Is
he's
it just
got it locked
super
up right
ammonia?
Oh well, it's you know who Juju Mufu is?
Yeah, the fight.
No, he's like a power lifter dude. He's fucking
right.
Uber jacked.
He does it before he works.
Yeah,
out.
and it's his company, and I think it's called or something like that, something crazy like that. It's so ridiculous. Like you're not gonna believe how ridiculous it is. Like you take a sniff and you're like, "What?"
I'm kind of scared.
How
dude.
the fuck are you selling this?
I'm kind of scared about it.
Everybody who tries it gets shocked.
I know.
But I guess what they do is they do the smelling salts to jack up their central nervous system, and then they lift.
Let me start my heart rate monitor.
Oh yeah. Get that heart rate monitor going. Okay, here we go. Heart rate monitor.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it showing now?
Hold on. It's measuring. 98.
Okay, let's calm down.
Okay.
You're a little high right now. 98's a little high. Just like I know you're anticipating this, but I want a real good reaction. I want a real one. I want an elevated heart rate to begin with.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hand it to you. Screw it on.
Oh God, I'm so scared, dude.
Unscrew it yourself.
I'm scared.
And then take a nice, big, deep whiff, and don't be a pussy.
Oh!
Oh my God! Right?
Oh!
Oh my God! Marshall's up. Marshall's checking in on you. Look how sweet he is.
I'm okay, Marshall.
Look how sweet he is.
Okay,
he's checking
you.
in on you.
Thank you.
Here we go.
It's not bothering you? What's wrong? Your nose
It wasn't as strong as I thought it was going to be.
It's not as strong anymore.
Is it weakening?
Yeah, 100%.
I'll have to test it.
100%. You got lucky, bitch. You got lucky.
We have
It
another.
still got me.
I think we have another one we never opened.
I think it has to be unopened. Try it. Marshall's freaking
Still got me.
out. No, it ain't that bad, man. It ain't that bad.
No,
right?
Yeah, it's not.
Not nearly.
Something happened.
Not nearly. Not nearly.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
No,
even put your face in
dude.
your
That
lap.
reaction you had to that, buckle up,
Still
son.
got it. I took a big hit.
Buckle
though.
up.
All right.
We're gonna get the other
2
one.
seconds. Let me see if we can.
It must dry out or something. That makes sense. I mean, how long could that possibly last?
That's still pretty nasty.
It's fucking insane. It's
What
an
is that?
insane
I've
smell.
smelled that before.
Imagine what it's
Cat
like to
pee?
him.
Oh, he probably smells it right now.
He's probably like, "What the fuck are you doing to me here?"
He's looking at the door. Oh, now he's licking himself.
Look at his dick. Constantly. Hey, get out of there, sir.
Oh,
Yeah, that ain't shit. But when you get the new one, hopefully they can find the new one.
so what's the difference between that and the cracker?
I think it's the same shit.
Same thing.
No. Well, there's poppers, which
Poppers.
is amyl nitrate.
That's what the gay people do to have butt sex. Right?
How dare
I mean,
you.
that's what they do. You go.
Yeah,
You
I
go to
think
West
straight
Hollywood.
people have done it too.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I think gay people do it primarily.
So that's the same thing as poppers. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a big party drug in the gay community
Right.
that a lot of people were attributing to diminishing people's immune systems and wrecking your body and causing brain damage. Like, it's really fucking bad for you. When Jamie comes back, we'll Google like the health effects of poppers, of amyl nitrate. It's really, really bad for you. But that's not this stuff.
Okay.
This stuff is like the stuff they use to wake people up when they've been knocked
Right.
out, like smelling salts. It's like pneumonia. It's like a strong pneumonia smell. Like what you just got, it ain't shit.
Jesus.
It ain't shit. Wait till you get a full whiff. God, I hope that we're not building up something that doesn't exist anymore. Because if somebody took it, these things are just laying around here sometimes. Somebody might take
You
it
need
as
to
a
have
tool.
it every single guest. Just have it like, hey, you want to try one?
Nah, scientists and shit.
Yes,
That'd be so
yes.
rude. No, I don't want to fuck with them. You don't want nothing.
If we have one, I don't know where it's at.
To be continued.
To be continued. On the next time Redban is here, we will have procured a solid supply of such items. Did we really only have one? I thought we had two,
May
man.
have. I thought we had 2, but no one knows where the second bag is.
But trust me. So shout out to
Damn.
that dude. It says, warning, read all precautions on bottle label prior to use.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is there any negatives to it?
I'm sure. I'm sure. I haven't been feeling so good since I started doing it.
I wonder if that would work with, the fentanyl people instead of Norcam or whatever that shit is called.
I don't think so.
No.
All that does is just like whack you out for a couple seconds.
I only ordered one.
You only ordered one? All right, order 10.
You should get a couple of the poppy ones too, just to try out the difference.
Well, that's the other thing we wanted to look up. Google the negative health effects of amyl nitrate poppers, because that was a thing that they were trying to like educate people on. Like, hey, you can't be doing this. This is fucking dangerous.
And was it to like open up your butthole when you go and then you just shove it in real quick?
Is that how you do it? Let's listen. Let's listen to that sound again. He made. I don't know why they do it. I think that's like part of it was like a sex drug. They were having a good time.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
It says poppers are liquid substances that people sometimes inhale to experience euphoria or enhance sex. They were previously sold in glass vials that made a popping noise when crushed, hence the name. They belong to a class of chemicals called amyl nitrates, which were once used to manage heart-related symptoms including angina or chest pain. While this kind of medical use still happens, it's not common. Today, you usually find poppers in small plastic bottles in the United States. Poppers aren't illegal, but selling them for non-prescribed consumption is illegal. As a result, many shops and online retailers market poppers as solvents, leather cleaner, nail polish remover, deodorizers, just like they used to do with bath salts. Remember that? They're selling meth. What do poppers do? Poppers are vasodilators, which means they widen blood vessels. When inhaled, they cause a rapid dip in blood pressure that can result in an immediate but short-lived rush of euphoria and relaxation. These effects can last for a few minutes. Poppers are often associated with sex for a couple reasons. First, they tend to cause lowered inhibitions and sexual arousal. Second, poppers relax smooth muscles in the body, including those found in the anus and vagina, making anal and vaginal sex more pleasurable. While poppers are often associated with gay men, people of all genders and sexualities, Brian, have used them recreationally since the 1960s. So what are the side effects? Okay. In addition to euphoria and muscle relaxation, poppers can also cause some less pleasant side effects, including headaches, particularly after use, dizziness, nausea, fainting, pressure in the sinuses, eyes, or both. Is this the popper lobby that's putting this out?
Oh, it's the plumber website again.
Dangerous. Poppers carry a low risk of dependence and addiction, but that doesn't mean they're totally safe to use. Here's a closer look at some of the risks associated with that come with some poppers. Chemical burns, eye damage, people experiencing permanent eye damage after inhaling certain brands of poppers, particularly those containing isopropyl nitrate. Medication interactions, higher risk situations. Remember, poppers lower your inhibition. That can cause you to do things you wouldn't normally do, like have sex without a barrier method to reduce your risk of sexually transmitted diseases. Here's the big one at the end. Say that. Methemoglobinemia. Methemoglobinemia. If you swallow poppers or inhale a very large amount of them, there's a risk of that word. A potentially life-threatening condition that occurs when your blood cells contain too much methemoglobin. This makes it harder for your blood to carry oxygen throughout your body, which can have a serious impact on your organs. That's the one I'm looking for. I knew it was bad for you. I think that's the one. I think what I had read about it was that it was crushing people's immune systems.
Yeah, me too.
It would cause them to get all kinds of other,
HIV and stuff.
All kinds of shit. I mean, if your immune system's fucked, if you're taking poppers all the time, just jolting your whole system, deleting your whole system and getting butt fucked. Like, yo. That's a lot.
That's a lot to take in.
That's a lot. There's a lot going on. How do we get to poppers? Oh, those smelling salts.
Yeah.
The smelling salts are definitely different than poppers. These things are just...
That's medical. A lot of first aid kits have those in there.
Yeah?
I thought. The snappy kind.
I bet it's probably similar
Yeah,
to
like
the
when
smelling
you knock
salts.
out, when you get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they have them in like a capsule form, right? And you break open the capsule. Yeah, they used to do that to fighters in between corners, in between rounds. Break open a capsule and have them smell it. They'd wake them up. These guys are doing it. So they're snorting them before games. They're taking sniffs before games.
I wonder if they're addicted to it, like the sports industry. They're all addicted to these things.
Look at this. It says overuse of smelling salts may lead to damage to your nasal passages. The sharp fumes from the ammonia may burn the membranes in your nostrils, but this would require frequent and heavy use of smelling salts. Oh.
Well,
I don't know, man. But those pro football players, they're not doing it because it's fun.
I heard that people actually get that there are people that like the buzz from it and that do it a lot.
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
100%. I was 100% looking forward to it. When Jamie brought it back, I was secretly ready for that exciting
Just want to
jolt.
taste, Jamie.
Just a taste. And then I was like, oh my God, do I have COVID?
I was thinking, I was like, uh-oh.
I was like, I don't smell shit. But I'm like, no, I smell things. I smell my coffee. This ain't working.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how much worse it is.
It's way worse. Way like sharp.
Because when I opened it up, maybe I got like all the.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
might have. Yeah, you might have. Right? Probably was contained. You probably got a bigger dose.
I don't know.
Yeah, if there was anything left in there, you got it. Yeah, but they do it. They all do it, so it must work. Those powerlifter guys, they're just trying to like stack heavier and heavier and heavier weights all the time. So they're always trying to get to that state where they're just fucking, And when you watch them get psyched up for lifts, it's kind of crazy. Like I know a lot of people think it's silly because you're not involved in that culture. But like one of the things that we learned when Jamie and I went to visit Louis Simmons, rest in peace. This is the great Louis Simmons, also out of Columbus, Ohio. We went to visit him and talk to him about powerlifting. You get a sense like this isn't a game for these guys. Like this is life. Life is how much weight can you lift. It sounds crazy, right? But how come it's okay if someone says life is bowling? Life is disc golf. Life is, what? For these guys, it's lifting heavy shit. It's the same thing. It's just that they've dedicated themselves to this, in relatively speaking, obscure activity. Because like everybody lifts weights, but not everybody like power lifts and does like fucking 700-pound deadlifts and shit and 1,000-pound squats. These people are animals. These are not normal human beings. But that's their thing. That's their thing. Like someone's into tennis. Tennis is life. They travel around the world, see the U.S. Open, go all France, and they're watching Wimbledon. They love it. That's their thing. These fucking people, it's like doing smelling salts, smacking each other in the chest, and lifting heavy, giant shit. Powerlifting's most exclusive and controversial gym. But if you want to make people that all they give a fuck about is the lifting the heaviest fucking shit humanly possible, that's where you go. You go to a powerlifting gym. A lot of athletes went to him, though, because he had these like wild methods of generating strength. A lot of Columbus-based athletes. Matt the Immortal Brown, he trained with him. Look at that dude. He's fucking jacked. He's a little excited, right?
903
He
pounds.
shattered the all-time bench press record with 903 pounds. Let's watch that. That is fucking insane. That is fucking insane.
Guess that's the end of it.
He got it up. He did it. Look at that guy. He's very jacked.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
The ability to lift really fucking super, super, super heavy shit. And while we were there, we met a couple of guys that had records. Like, he's got the record for the best hamstring curl. There's like different guys at different like crazy lifting records.
That's why Schwarzenegger always goes there.
Does he?
Columbus?
Is that why he goes there?
Yeah.
That's why the Arnold Classic is there?
Yeah.
Because of what?
Because like, there's a huge power lifting.
Sort of, yeah. But he made a business partnership with the guy that runs Nationwide, and that's why they put it there.
Yeah. Nationwide.
They used to have UFC fights during the week of the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, that was
Remember
the
that?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense. Like,
Yeah. So smart.
Yeah.
Why not? That was back in the day. Is bodybuilding still as popular as it used to be?
I think it's probably more so.
I see. I mean, that's what my Instagram feeds me is a bunch of people doing bodybuilding shit. Like, it's a little bit of CrossFit, but it's a little bit of still competition stuff.
Damn, that's what your Instagram feed is? I feel
That's
so
all
sad. for you.
bodybuilders.
That and golf. It's because it's working out
And
stuff.
golf.
Yeah. That look that they get right before they go on stage, man, that is so unhealthy. It's so crazy that the most unhealthy time they look the best. Like, they're so depleted of water, man. They're just that's part of the reason why they're so shredded.
Oh.
They're so dehydrated, man.
Really?
Yeah, they get like they're blacking out. They have no body fat. They get down to like 0 body fat. They're on every fucking chemical known to man. When you see those fucking gigantic super jack guys that have zero body
and
fat.
They die early too.
All the time. You can't keep that going for very long. Those guys are so lean.
God.
You can't keep that going for very long. You can't stay like at that leanness for very long. You can stay pretty fucking lean. Like some guys, obviously, they have like more natural tendency to be lean than other guys do. But when they get down to like this, like you're on zero.
God.
You're on empty. I mean, a lot of these guys, like, they get really tired after they do this stuff too. You got to imagine you're flexing every muscle in your body and you're dehydrated. But if you look back at like Arnold, like look at that picture of Arnold up there. They say that he couldn't compete with today's bodybuilders. But honestly, I think that looks better. I really do.
It looks a lot better.
That looks better.
Yeah.
Like, he looks fucking fantastic.
That looks way more natural than like the goofiness that nowadays.
He looks like a super strong giant man. Do the one where he's doing the double biceps? That one? Yeah, that one. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks fucking fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously he's a bodybuilder, no question about it. But I think that's like a healthier look, a better look for a bodybuilder.
Absolutely.
Than the crazy size these guys put on now. You know, like that as a human, that looks better. But then when you go to like Ronnie Coleman in his prime, that's way more impressive. Like, Google Ronnie Coleman in his prime.
Jesus Christ, that guy.
Whoa. Look at the size of his back. So he's got a turtle shell on. That's crazy. Who is that guy?
I don't know.
Leonardo?
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, his back is insane. Ronnie Coleman. Look at that. Look at the size of him.
Crazy.
When he was in his prime, he was fucking gigantic, just mass. And Ronnie Coleman was known for lifting really, really heavy weights, which is how he wound up injuring his back. He had like every disc in his back fused. Incredible. He was so big, and just the mass and power. Because he would do like ridiculously heavy weights in training.
How did he die? Heart?
No, he's alive.
Oh,
he's alive. He did the podcast. He was cool as fuck.
Oh, I just saw how strong was Ronnie. And I thought,
oh, they mean in his prime.
Right, yeah.
I mean, but again, he's paid the price, and he wouldn't have it any other way. You talk to him about it, he has no regrets, because he's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. There's like him, and you know, it's depending on what you like. The Arnold days, it was Arnold, and it was Dorian Yates. Dorian Yates was a fucking gigantic human being, preposterously big, and he's a normal-sized guy now. It's kind of cool. Like, he smokes a lot of weed, very philosophical, laid back, real mellow. And at one point in time, I mean, he was the fucking man. When I met him, he's just like a regular athletic guy.
Does he have loose skin now?
No, he looks totally normal. He just looks like he's just, I mean, he looks fit, but he's just not,
right.
No, I mean, he's a normal-sized guy. He's a big guy, but he's not, you know.
It's kind of compared to his 1 rep max, it says here, is 557 for bench. And that guy we just saw did 903.
That's insane.
Jesus.
That is insane. Generally speaking, though, the strongest guys are not the bodybuilders, generally speaking. They're very, very, very strong. Don't get me wrong. But the strongest guys for individual lifts are generally the power lifter guys. And they're generally like, they have some fat on their body. You know, they're like bigger, huskier looking dudes. It's a different build. I think maybe when you have more weight, you can push more weight too. Like, maybe that makes sense somehow or another. Like, your body becomes accustomed to carry it all around. But all they're thinking about is just fuel and power. Fuel and power. You know, they don't have to do anything that requires cardio. But if you think about what that sport is, it's like, what happens when they start rubbing that shit on little babies' bodies? Ronnie Coleman smashes 2,325 pounds for 10 repetitions. For leg press.
Wow.
Shut the fuck up, man.
That's crazy.
That cannot be good for your body.
Hell no. Blow your knees out.
2,325 pounds for 10 reps. That's so insane. So that's what happened. That the thing that I have problems with my back is like, I have a tiny fraction of what he has, which is that from all the compression from all the years, and a lot of it is like from jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, your discs get smushed and they start like getting really irritated and they poke into your nerves, and that's where sciatic pain comes from, and a lot of other weird neck pains that make your hands hurt. All those guys have fucked up necks and backs.
I have that shit. Most
Most people do. Your body just starts like deteriorating. Redban.
That's why I recommend a pregnancy pillow. It's great. I don't know why they market it for pregnant women, but
how does it work? The one you stick your arm through?
It's like it's a regular pillow with like one side's like half a body pillow, and the other side's like this really long tail body pillow. And you could pretty much just go in there and wrap yourself up, and you're just kind of floating while you're sleeping. It's great.
Let me see this.
But I posted that on Instagram. I said because I bought 10 of them.
Oh, so you have like your own little look. It's got a shark.
Yeah,
mouth
but look at the
end of it.
comments. Congratulations, pregnancy. Tate Fletcher's texting me, going, "Hey man, congratulations. Tell Janice."
That's hilarious. Meanwhile, you're like, no, I just like sleeping.
No,
in it.
and what's so funny, I never thought about it. I bought like 10 of them, and I've been trying them out. I'm going to review all of them. And I said, you'll know what this means soon. And so everyone thought immediately.
Of course.
I didn't even think of it. Like people would know what a pregnancy pillow is.
You're pregnant. And congratulations. Today it could mean you're pregnant. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Who fucking knows?
I bought Hans Kim one though the other day.
Yeah.
Because he said he had neck pains, and he texted me last night. He's like, "Dude, this is the best thing ever. I love it. I can't believe it. It helped me so much."
So do you sleep on it? Is that your pillow?
Yeah.
So you put your head on that too?
Yeah. And however, just because there's so much like wrapping and stuff, because I always get neck problems. Like you could just pretty much sleep exactly how you want to, and you're not laying on your arm or something like that.
Oh wow.
Because I sleep stomach side sleeper. I'm the one that always has like his arm underneath the pillow, and I'm just constantly putting pressure on like my nerves and stuff. And
oh wow,
it's bad. But that changed my life. That pregnancy pillow shit.
I'm gonna look into that. I always stick a pillow between my legs so I can cuddle sideways.
Mm-hmm.
But I have sleep apnea, and I have that mouthpiece that I wear.
Right.
That's the best way for me to not snore. Is if I lie on my back, even with the mouthpiece, I snore.
Right. See, I can't lie on my back because I snore.
Yeah, it's rough. Did you ever get tested for sleep apnea?
No, I probably haven't.
Probably haven't.
Yeah.
You're remarkably well for the amount of substances you consume. Remarkably well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Still haven't got COVID yet, too.
That's what I'm saying. You might have been exposed to it and like had an asymptomatic.
I think I have because I actually found out that I did have
antibodies.
Oh,
so you did.
I mean, I got the shots, but she said that won't show up after 6 months. So.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I wonder what it is. You might have been exposed because, sometimes people get exposed, like a lot of times because we test here so much.
Right.
They didn't even know they had it. That happens a lot.
Yeah, I haven't had zero symptoms, or my girlfriend though, which is weird.
And I think it's like every other cold, right? If you get a light exposure to it and you're doing real well at the time, like you're rested and you have vitamins in your system and it's a very mild exposure. Maybe that's what like these asymptomatic ones are for some people. It's like you just barely got it, but you got enough to develop immunity.
Right.
Or some antibodies.
I think it's all liquid IV. As much liquid IV I have.
I drink that shit every day.
Yeah.
I drink that shit every day. I drink it every day before I do workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like changed my cramping. I used to cramp so much, man. Especially like hard leg workouts.
Try their new kombucha apple one. It's so good. It has kombucha powder in it or something.
They're all good. I drink them in a large thing of water too. They're really strong. If you have them in a small one, I do it in like a 1 liter.
Yeah, I usually do it in a bigger one than this.
Oh, but that's having fucking nutrients in your system is so goddamn important. It's amazing how many people don't do anything about that. They just eat whatever they eat and just live their life like, God damn, kids. Like, you're really missing out on, there's like another level to the way your body will feel if you're like well fed and you have the right nutrients in your body and you do it for a sustained period of time. So your body has what it needs to sort of make everything work right. And there's so many people out there that are, and that's that book, the Joel Wallach book. He was talking about mineral deficiencies. And he was saying that when people are eating these vegetables and the things that they eat that they've always associated with having minerals, they don't have nearly the same amount of minerals that they used to have, like back in the day. And then it's only going to get worse. And they think that now, we've Googled this, right? There's like 60 more seasons of U.S. topsoil left in farmlands that are heavily used. Like, what?
Bananas are almost extinct.
What?
Imagine not being able to buy bananas
today.
Yeah, imagine not being able to have bananas.
About? I ate 2 of them.
Yeah, they're going extinct.
How is that possible?
It's because there's a bacteria or something that's killing banana plants. And
Is
it's
it the World
wiping
Economic Forum bacteria?
it's wiping out banana fields like crazy.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
Oh.
Have you seen that video where the World Economic Forum talks about what's going to happen in 2030?
Mm-mm.
And it says, you will own nothing and you'll be happy.
No, I haven't.
That's the first thing it says.
Really?
Yeah, and you'll rent everything. You'll rent everything. But you'll be happier. What?
It's crazy.
What the fuck are you talking? Who owns everything then? You don't own it either? Or do you own everything?
Right.
You won't own anything? Who's you? Is it me or is it everybody? Watch this. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Just do it from the beginning so you can see what it says because it's predictions. 8 predictions for the world in 2030. This is real. This is not a parody. This is not the Babylon Bee. This is real. 8 predictions. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Based on the input members of the World Economic Forum, whatever you want, you'll rent and it'll be delivered by drone. You just rent it. Mm-hmm. The U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. Oh, sorry. A handful of countries will dominate. Look, China's in the forefront, waving its flag over us. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. Wouldn't it be better? You won't transplant organs. We'll print new ones instead. Yay, better. You'll eat much less meat. An occasional treat, not a staple, for the good of the environment and our health.
That's bullshit.
1 billion people will be displaced by climate change.
Believe that.
We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees.
No shit.
Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. There'll be a global price on carbon. This will help make fossil fuels history. You could be preparing to go to Mars. Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space. The start of a journey to find alien life. Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. This is so weird.
It is weird.
So when I looked it up, it was made in 2016.
Bro.
A lot
That's
of it,
so weird.
I believe like the you won't own anything, you'll rent. I mean, that kind of already has started with like video games and movies. Remember, you used to buy
but not
DVDs.
your fucking house, not your car, not your clothes.
Price wise, it might be.
But you imagine
the
if
only
they just decide to take back your car because they don't like your politics? Like, this is the fear that people have. That's what China has with their social credit score system. Like, if you do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, speak out against the wrong people, they'll deny your ability to travel. There's like, no, you can't buy airplane tickets, Mr. Redban. We saw podcast number 1034.
Black Mirror.
Where you were, yeah. I mean, that's what they're saying. By regulating all these different things, that creates more control over people. It's not that it's good to do these things like pollute and shit. But what they're saying they're just getting a firmer and firmer grasp on what people can and can't do. And if they can tell you don't need meat, less meat. You need less meat. Like, says who? Well, you need to buy our fake meat. You need to buy our plant-based meat. It's lower in cholesterol. And you know what they're doing in Canada now? They're putting a warning label on ground beef. So if you buy ground beef, it's going to put a warning label on the level of saturated fat, and it's going to recommend you try a plant-based meat because they're lower in saturated fats.
Huh.
What? What? A warning label? You have a warning label on ground beef. See if that's true. I think it's true. I'm 99% sure it's true. Because I did read it, but I've been duped before.
Right.
I really did think Steven Seagal was going to war. I was like, that crazy fuck is over there
so
training the troops in Ukraine. Because, dude, he's he's like literally teaches people in Russia, which is nuts. Alberta beef producers unhappy with Health Canada's plan to require warning labels on ground beef. Yeah, it's real. Oh, my God. It's nuts.
Well, Canada's nuts right now. What are we saying? They're falling apart like crazy.
It says, but one aspect of the proposed plan isn't sitting right with some Canadians. Ground meat is subject to the label. Yeah, it's subject to the label. So that means a label will be coming to the grocery shelves, warning people.
Well, maybe. It says it's proposed, and it doesn't mean it will be put on everything. Some foods will fall into the category.
Right, but they're saying ground meat is one of those that falls in there, which is kind of crazy because there's a lot of hot topic. There's a lot of hot debate about whether or not ground meat is actually good for you, or meat is actually good for you, and that the problem is not the meat. The problem is all the other things that people eat with the meat. And there's people way more qualified than me to have this discussion. They've had this discussion, and you'll have to form your own opinions on it. But it seems to me that people have been eating meat since we've been people. The problem is the new stuff. The new stuff that we haven't been eating as much is like all the fucking corn syrup, all the massive amounts of calories in one drink that you don't even know, like 680 fucking calories. All the different shit that we eat that has chemicals and preservatives, and we eat so much garbage in this country.
And salt. So much salt. Everything has so much salt on it.
It makes it delicious.
Yeah, but still, let me add the salt.
Okay.
I mean, some things you're like, look at the sodium on this. Joey Diaz warned about
sodium.
This.
It's fucking sodium, dog. He was always like anti-sodium.
Yeah.
Well, for some people, it makes them swell up.
Yeah,
it makes the rings hard to come off. Joey had a ring stuck on his hand for like a year.
That's right. He's looking great now, though, man. He's
killing it.
Yeah.
Talking him into coming to Vegas.
Really?
Do the show in Vegas.
I heard he was
on the fence.
Did Bill Burr.
Yeah, he did Bill Burr's show.
Talked to him the other day, too, and he said he was going to go to a Duncan show, maybe. I don't know if he ever did that or not. Yeah. I'm glad he's getting back up now.
He's getting back up.
I heard he destroyed at your show.
Yeah, he killed it in Atlantic City, especially the second show, Saturday night. He was on fire. He's the man. He's just got to get back on his feet and just start doing comedy. He's just been enjoying podcasts and shit, which is great, but he's too funny. He's too funny to not be doing stand-up. And it's too fun to have around. He's like the anchor. He was always the fun anchor. Joey's always the fun guy. He made me go out in Atlantic City. He made me go out to this fucking diner that's in the casino. It was a disaster.
Great. It was a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disaster. A lot of fun, wild people living in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's too hard for you to do nowadays.
That's Jersey's Vegas. It's like that's Jersey's Vegas.
Yeah.
They don't have a Vegas. They have the Atlantic City, and it's pretty fucking nice now. Like,
is it?
Yeah, there's some really nice hotels. The Hard Rock we were at, it's fucking nice. It's a nice place, And we went to this. Me and my friend Tommy went to this old school pool hall that's there in Atlantic City.
Right.
And it looks like it hadn't changed at all since the '70s. It had a payphone on the wall, dude. A payphone. And there's like no gambling signs and shit. And the dude who runs it looks like he's been running a pool hall for 50 years. It was awesome. It was like such an old school like window into the past that you don't really get much of anymore.
Right.
But in Atlantic City, there's still some of those spots that are still around.
Yeah.
It's a depressing city, dude.
Yeah.
It's not cool. That's it. That's Atlantic City Billiards. I think there's a picture. Yeah, that's what it looks like on the inside. Look, no alcoholic beverages, no gambling. That's my boy
old
Tommy.
School.
Yeah, look how old school. No
is that
gambling.
Tommy?
Tommy Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. No gambling, no cigar smoking. You could smoke cigarettes back then.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Phone is out of order. Well, like last week, it probably shut off.
What a disgusting thing to have public phones. Now you look at that, you're just like, how gross is that?
Probably protected our immune systems.
Yeah.
Seriously. You were always in contact with cooties.
And you always just held it right to your mouth. You never even thought about it back then.
Well, think about how good your immune system is, right? You didn't even get COVID, right? You were out all the time. Even before you got vaccinated, you were out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about all the people that you've met, all the hands that you shook. Like when we used to do shows and we would shake hands with everybody after the show and take pictures, dude, you probably shook thousands and thousands and thousands of hands over the years. And all that stuff got integrated into your system probably. That's what the guy from Polyface Farms, Joel Salatin, he drinks out of the same water that the cows drink out of.
Ugh.
I know. But he says it protects him. It protects his gut biome.
Lick doorknobs.
Yeah. Well, that's what kids do, right? They're always eating dirt and shit.
Yeah, sucking their thumbs after playing all day and
stuff.
Yep.
I wonder if that's what it is. If they're curious or if there's actually some like sort of instinct that makes sense. To expose yourself to as many things by touching things and putting them in your mouth. And your mother's supposed to be there to make sure you don't choke on bones and whatever else you're shoving in there.
Yeah.
You know? Probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Should we end this right now? I think we ran out of steam.
Yeah, I got to go do a show now.
Yeah, Kill Tony every Monday at the Vulcan, but don't try buying tickets, bitch.
Yeah,
they're sold out forever and ever. It's amazing. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. It is the cornerstone of the Austin comedy scene, and I think it's a big factor in all of stand-up comedy because it's an amazing place for a showcase for someone to go up. You can kill with 1 minute, and you get welcomed, and people applaud you, and they root for you, and they get excited when you come back. And you guys have launched a lot of people's stand-up comedy careers through that.
Yeah.
You know, Allie Makovsky's out there killing it on the road, and Allie started with you guys. She started doing a new minute every week, live, publicly, in front of the whole world, which is a gangster thing to do.
Doesn't shave her
Kim
legs.
Congdon and Wineshank, Sarah and Kim did that back in the day. A fucking minute every week. That's wild. That's a wild ass exercise.
I'm most proud about Hans.
Hans is a killer.
Like he went from living in his van to now headlining. And, you know, it's just so great to see that. Like, I'm really happy for him.
Dude, Hans kills in arenas.
Oh, God,
I bring Hans to arenas.
He's awesome.
I jump that motherfucker right to the head of the line.
He's so fucking interesting.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He writes all the time. I remember the first time he did an arena, he was so fucking nervous. And he went up there like he owned the place. It was amazing. I was like, yes. We were backstage like he fucking did it. He went up there just super calm and just took over. He's really funny.
So
William
good.
Montgomery, he's another guy, really, really funny. Really funny, really unique. That one joke that I love that I won't say on the air, but God, it's such a good joke. It's so clever.
And he's grown. So you've pushed something that has been driving me crazy for so long on him, is just using his notebook, and you really got him over that. And it's so great to see, because he has such a tendency to just read off his notebook, turn to the side, not even face the audience, like he's having his own little conversation. And
listen, he's crazy.
Yeah.
In the best possible way. He's really funny. He's a really, really good guy. And he's really fucking nutty on stage. And he's just got, you know, just got to get the right path, you know, and the staring at the notes all the time is not the right path, because he didn't need them.
Right.
I'm like, you're doing 15 minutes.
Right.
You're doing 10 minutes. You don't need that. Just get it in your head and run with it, and then learn how to do that. You're a pro. You've been doing it for too long. And he's like, you're right, man. You're right. You're right.
What a nightmare.
But it's just like, it's a great community out here. There's a lot of really funny people coming up. And I think one of the big factors is Kill Tony. I really do believe that, because I think that show is a wild, unhinged, like uncensored show, which is, I think, is very important to comedy, because it's all about just being funny. You have 1 minute. You don't have time to be woke. You don't have time to have a social justice promotion in the middle. No, you have to kill.
Right.
This is a shot. This is a shot. And then everyone is loved. No matter who you are, old, young, you kill, gay, trans, black, Asian, no one gives a fuck. It's the same tribe.
Yeah.
If you're funny, and you're applauded. And it sets a good tone for comedy, because it lets people know, like, this is what comedy's about. It's not about, like, changing people's minds.
Right.
Like, that stuff's crazy. Get a podcast, okay? When you're on stage, you're supposed to be killing. And Kill Tony enforces that, and you get feedback from these top comics. You know, like, you get Dom Irera and Shane Gillis and Ari and Normand, and all these people are on a regular basis sitting in with you, Tim Dillon. And it's a fucking amazing resource. It's amazing. It's such a good show.
Yeah, it's so great.
I love it, man. So congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, my man. Death Squad, Thursday nights at the Vulcan.
Secret show.
Secret show. All kinds of people secretly come by.
Yeah, we got 15 people today.
Nice. All right. That's it. Goodbye, everybody.